Travers field is all set. Kentucky Derby winner Always Dreaming and Belmont Stakes winner Taproot lead the way for trainer Todd Pletcher for the Saturday showdown. Champion filly Songbird arrives in Saratoga. We'll have the latest on last year's Coaching Club American Oaks and Alabama winner as she gears up for the personal ensign. Elizabeth Voss took over the reins of her father's stable after his passing. Today she'll try and win with renown in the John's Call, who her father trains. And it's been quite a life. In pictures for horse racing photographer Barbara Livingston. We'll hear her story and what goes into capturing all those priceless memories she shares with us. Welcome to Saratoga Live as we get set for the start of Travers Week here at the Spa. It's presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Biggest week of the meet coming up. We have our Triple Crown Showdown coming up on Saturday that everyone in horse racing is talking about. Beautiful weather and a good crowd on hand for Wednesday action. The John's Call is our feature today. Greg Wolf alongside racing analyst Gabby Gaudet, but it is the return of the three individual winners of the Triple Crown on Saturday that has everybody talking in the Travers.
Absolutely, and this is definitely going to be a Travers to whet your appetite. We'll take a look at Always Dreaming, of course, this year's Kentucky Derby winner, and he came back in the Jim Dandy. Subpar performance, but Greg, going into the Jim Dandy, Todd really saying that he wasn't quite sure of his fitness level, trying to find that balance between keeping him fit and keeping him fresh. And moving forward, we could see a better performance, and we're hoping to see a better performance from Cloud Computing, and Chad Brown also kind of having the same excuse on this one too. Yeah,
Cloud Computing's performance maybe even a little more puzzling than Always Dreaming. Chad Brown said he came back to the barn just a little bit tired. He's been working sharp since, though, and the plan all along for Taproot out of that Belmont Stakes win, train up to the Travers.
And Todd Pletcher just kind of wanted to keep him fresh. He learned for a couple years ago when Destin exited the Belmont and going into the Travers. He learned a thing or two from that experience. So fresh for Taproot, but this is a doozy come Saturday.
No horses scaring anybody away. 12 will line up. The post position draw was last night here in town, hosted by our own Andy Serling. 12 will line up, and it is absolutely wide open. It is Taproot, who's a 7-2 morning line favorite. Everyone knows about the horses who won the Triple Crown events, but Maggie Wolfendale has more on maybe the now horses.
You're exactly right. And those now horses very well could be our Jim Dandy winner in Good Samaritan, as well as the Grade 1 Haskell winner. Now, both of these horses seem to be hitting their best strides in the latter half here of 2017 during their 3-year-old seasons. But boy, is it a different tale between the two trainers, as trainer Bill Mott of Good Samaritan. He has tried to win the Travers with 6 runnings in the past and has yet to do so, but he's the youngest Hall of Fame inductee, trained his first horse at age of 15 in 1968, and he sent out 11 Eclipse Award-winning champions. Yet Joe Sharp, Gervin, is his first Grade 1 winner, and he only started 3 years ago in 2014. So, guys, it's a completely different tale between the two trainers, but both horses, Gervin and Good Samaritan, seem to be training very, very well. I love what I've been seeing from both of them out on the tracks in the morning as they will try this large field for this year's Travers. Guys.
Maggie, thank you. Yeah, Good Samaritan stepped up, shocked everybody when he went on dirt for the very first time. They'd been trying his connections to get him to try the dirt for a while. He was actually cross-entered on Breeders' Cup Day when he was a 2-year-old. They talked about actually waiting until the Travers. Luckily, they called that audible, and they got a Jim Dandy win.
Of course, and Maggie mentioning Gervin, too. You know, this is a horse throughout the Triple Crown campaign had some foot issues, and it looks like they really are keeping that at bay right now, and he's been training as well as he was his entire career. So it's going to be a great race, this Travers.
Much more on the Travers coming up later on in the show. Let's get into today's action. We're going to be picking things up with race 7. It will kick off the late pick 4 sequence. We're 19 minutes to post. Mile and an eighth, maiden special weight to start it off. Then we'll go a mile and 5/8 on the turf. Our feature is the John's Call. Race 9, mile and 16th on the inner turf, where Voodoo Song will try and make it 3 wins at the meet after winning within 4 days of each other back on July 22nd and the 26th here. And we'll close things out with a New York bred maiden claiming event at 6.5 furlongs in race 10. Track conditions today, they're brought to you by John Deere. Main track is fast. Turf condition is listed as firm. And you can, of course, play along from home or wherever you may be as you watch today's racing here on Saratoga Live. Get signed up and started with Naira Bets. Open an account. When you bet $200, you'll get $200 additionally put into your account. Use the promo code PIG5 to take advantage of that. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets all across the country. Race 7 will kick off this pick 4. It's a maiden special weight, mile and an eighth, and Gabby Tapella for Todd Pletcher debuted on a sloppy track at Saratoga against a very nice horse who wound up running second to Salty in her debut.
And that is the 6 Tapella right now at even money. And she's going to have to prove 2 things. Can she stretch her talents out to a distance of ground? And can she transition that to a fast main track? But surely enough, she chased a 3 to 5 shot around the racetrack last time out. And she looks like the horse to beat.
Let's meet the rest of our crew. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, former New York Met, Los Angeles Dodger Paul LaDuca. What do you guys make of this even money favorite?
Well, I think like everybody here, we realize the 6 is much the worse to beat Tabella. There isn't a lot really to say. She ran behind a highly regarded Bill Mott horse.
Yeah.
She ran off the screen basically and pulled. She really never gave up. And Todd Pletcher has terrific numbers stretching his horses out in their second start as maidens.
Yeah, we've had like about, I want to say 5 or 6 mile and eighth races this meet so far, and I think Todd's won like 4 of them. So now you have a second-time starter here in a filly here that ran against a buzzsaw, like Andy was saying, in Covenant. That came back with an 85 buyer. What's going to happen today? She sort of got pushed, and like you said, sort of grinded away. Now she's 4 to 5 on the board. If you look at the pick 3, she's 1 to 5.
Yeah, she's going to be a heavy favorite because she is way the horse to beat. We'll see about some others. I'm a little interested in the 2, Heavenly Grace. Now, Heavenly Grace's first start last year as a 2-year-old, she ran okay with a bit of a trip. She did not improve at all from a speed figure standpoint and did no running when she came off the layoff. But her dam Havre de Grace, for people not familiar with her, was Horse of the Year in 2011. And being a starter of Tappet with Havre de Grace, who was a very good router, you would think she could improve with distance. And I want to give her a little bit of a shot as the other horse to improve.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much upside, especially with these fillies, newly turned fillies. She's only had 1 race as a 3-year-old. And obviously, you mentioned the pedigree. Her mama was a champion. And being on the top side at Tappet, yeah, she's bred to go around 2 turns. As you see, that's normal there. Yeah, horses get stretches just like other athletes, just stretching out that front hind leg.
Yeah, and I'm going to use the 2 and 6 to start out my pick 4. A number of these horses are coming out of the race where Presumptuous, the 4 today, Parade, the 5, and the 8, Tis Super, finished 2-3-5, I should say. Of those horses, I'm not really interested in Tis Super, who is going to have to try to clear from the outside post. The horse I want to ask you about, Paul, is the 5, Parade, who's the 4 in this race. Is she really going to improve with stretching out in distance? Because to me, she flattened out going 7 furlongs. Why should she get better going an extra quarter of a mile?
I even said right on my thing, she got green lane. She swaps to her long lane. She's the gray on the outside. Look at her. She's running sideways. No, she's going to get up for 3rd. I get it. But it's like she's not really paying attention to what she's doing. I think she's still green. And you talk about pedigree, parading, half 2 parading, who's obviously a grade 2 winner, and it was a very nice horse. I'm with you, Andy. I don't know if I love the 5. I think she'll love the distance. Now, Tis Super, I'll take the other approach with you. I think the bottom of the pedigree says go longer, so maybe if he can get away with, or she can get away with soft fractions early and get to the front, she might get brave.
Well, the 8's the one who's likely going to try to get the lead, but I can't imagine Tapella and John Velasquez will make that easy, Maggie.
Agree with you because this filly here, Parade, does appear sharp to me, at least here in the paddock, as she'll stretch out. We have 3 gray fillies, all of which trying to stretch out in distance here. And Parade, guys, to me, is fairly convincing in getting this 2-turn mile and an eighth here, and we'll see how much control she gets. Yandy, you mentioned another stretch out in Tis Super will likely be setting the pace, but she'll have to bring 2 her Parades outside. Now, the favorite is number 6 in here. That's Tapella, who is stretching out in only her 2nd start, but she's this is exactly what I anticipated of what she wanted to do. I thought she ran respectable in her first effort, albeit on the slop, and she's just a filly that is very, very elongated in her frame and should really relish this 9 furlongs. And then we'll check in with another stretch out gray horse, number 2, Heaven. I do like the 1 1/8 for her. I wish, she's a little bit stronger than what she was in that first race off the layoff back at Belmont, but still, she seems as though she's going to be one that is just going to have to continue to progress physically with racing. So I like her, but still, I think Tapella is a very formidable foe.
And it looks like the public agrees. Tapella 3-5 odds-on favorite here on the board in just her second start and first time stretching out here around 2 turns. We'll see if she can handle it. For trainer Todd Pletcher with John Velasquez aboard our post-parade when we come back from a short timeout. We're going to take a break in the action. Next on Saratoga Live, entries are in, and that is the hardware that awaits the winner of the Travers on Saturday and the Triple Crown Showdown to come. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Claiborne Farm's Flatter is carrying the flag for AP Indy, rewarding breeders in the sales ring and on the track. Among the nation's leading sires by Grade 1 stakes horses in 2016, this year's stars include Travers, Upstart, Kobe's Back, Amy's Flatter, and most recently, Paola Queen, winner of the Grade 1 test stakes at Saratoga. Success on the track has led to big numbers in the auction ring as well, with yearlings this year selling up to $425,000. Flatter at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live as we get set and ready to go, just 10 minutes out from race 7. So now would be a good time to actually head over to SaratogaShowdown.com to play along with our races today and every day for a chance to win some real prizes. Go to SaratogaShowdown.com for a free account and enter your picks. Every day, the highest mythical bankroll earns 50,000 NyraBets points. It's a free and easy way to get introduced to betting.
All right, good luck to everybody with that. Definitely want to get down and take advantage. We get set for the start of a pick 4 coming up. And guys, we're taking a look here at Brilliant Missy coming in from Parks for trainer Kieran McLaughlin. Interesting horse here at a number.
I'm befuddled. Paul likes this horse, so I want to hear it. He's 12-1, or she's 12-1.
Well, you know, the reason why I liked her, she lost first time out. She did no running. She lost to Dream Dancing, who came and just won the Del Mar Oaks. That was a loaded race. You know, her next start was a legit stumble where she hit the gate. Terrible break. I mean, it was awful. She got nothing out of that race. And her last race at Parks was not bad. I thought she was able, up on the pace. She was 4 or 5 wide early around the turn. She showed a little courage for me to stick on for second place. The horse horse that won the race, Privy Council, was much the best. I know, not much, but I have a feeling that ended up being like her own race, and she finally got some fitness out of something. It might come into this race. I think she's got a little bit of talent. I know I'm taking a flyer here at 12-1, but like I said, I just think it was an okay race last time.
I'm not knocking long shots. Both Gabby and I had talked earlier today about Red Curls. It's interesting the trainer, Roy Lehrman, has been running this horse in the turf because this horse has a big dirt pedigree. That's not just because he's a Curlin or she's a Curlin, but because she's a half to three very, very solid runners. Now, she draws very poorly on the outside, and the likelihood that she works out a winning trip seems pretty small, but she is a horse to keep an eye on, whether it's for today or later, because she's supposed to be running on the dirt.
And I always say the turf horses, Gabby, better when they draw the outside so they don't get the dirt in their face.
Post parade coming up here as we get set for the start of this late pick 4, 260,000 plus in the pool coming up. Mile and an eighth here in this maiden special event to kick off the sequence. We're going to see Brilliant Missy first, who Paul was talking about, intrigued by this 3-year-old filly by Smart Strike. And she did beat a horse who had been competitive here in New York named Privy Council for Todd Pletcher.
And she's just one, I think, that they haven't really...
Face, I said, she didn't beat her.
Yeah, she faced her. Privy Council beat her by about 4 lengths, so she's going to have to find her groove here.
Here she is, again, daughter of Smart Strike out of an El Prado mare. Jose Lezcano aboard for Kieran McLaughlin.
And again, didn't show that much speed sprinting, showed improved speed once getting at a distance. Can she find her groove at a mile and an eighth on the main track?
Heavenly Grace is the 2 sent out by Ralph Nix. 2 sprints now stretching out with Eric Cancel aboard.
The first foal from former Hearst of the Year, Havre de Grace, will try to improve stretching out. She's bred to handle the distance.
The only first-time starter in the field, that's the 3 Economies of Scale for Klarovich Stables, trained by Al Stahl with Ricardo Santana Jr.
Al Stahl hasn't run many horses, but what he has run, they've been live, so watch out for this long shot.
Presumptuous, the most experienced runner in the field for the Jimmy Bond barn, and Rajiv Mirage aboard.
She's got 7 seconds and thirds and 12 career starts. She's consistent, but consistently not winning.
Parade is the 5 sent out by the Phipps stable. It's Dylan Davis riding for Shug McGahee.
Very weird race that she comes out of. She was slow early, but maybe the added distance will help her be forwardly placed.
Huge 3-5 favorite here. The daughter of Tappet for Todd Pletcher, making career start number 2 with John Velasquez.
She may stalk the 1 Brilliant Missy or perhaps clear the lead. She's way the horse to beat, stretching out in her second start.
Bogulator, the 7 in here, goes turf to dirt for trainer Mark Hennig with Junior Alvarado.
And her races are primarily on the turf. She's never actually run on a fast main track. We'll see what she can do at 15-1.
Kennesaw Mountain Racing sends out his Super Anthony Dutrow, Irad Ortiz Jr., and plenty of speed.
Ran shockingly badly last time after running well 2 back. Irad Ortiz has to try to clear from the outside post. Won't be easy.
And Red Curls, who Andy was just talking about here, it's going to be the dirt debut, trained by Roy Lerman. Manny Franco aboard.
Funny to see it take so long for her to finally get to the main track. She's by Curlin, and she's half to a 13-time winner on the dirt.
All right, guys, so the pick 4 is coming up. How do you construct a ticket here?
Well, I'm going to go deep to start this race, and Andy and I have totally different opinions today. So 1, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I thought it was a difficult race. I'm trying to get to 2 in the last. 1, 3, 6, 7. You have any extra? I mean, I was up and down on Montclair. Brutal trip 2 back, confusing last time. 6, 7, 8. I do think Cliffs of Dover has got a shot to beat Nevisian Sky. Nevisian Sky might be tough. The last race is a scramble, Andy, so I thought I'd take a shot with the 2 in there. I missed my father, who missed the break last time.
Yeah, I missed my father. Either the 2 and 4 were the right 2 horses in the last race. I'll use 2, 4, 7 because the 7 was also way against the track, but I prefer the 2 and 4. We agree in the third leg, the 6, 7, 8, and here I'm going to go thin. Just use the favorite, and I'll throw the 2 as a bomb. The next race, I like the 4 and 6. I'm going to use 4, 5, 6, 7 in there, but I prefer the 4 and 6.
All right, so there are 2 varying opinions there on the pick 4. Still have 5 minutes to put something together. Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale again.
And I have the pleasure of being joined by Mandy Pope of Whisper Hill Farms. And Mandy is sending out the progeny of a accomplished Grade 1 winning mare, an Eclipse winning mare. Does that give you a little pressure?
It's a lot of pressure. It's like the whole world is looking at you and trying to see just if you were smart or not so smart when you bought the mare. So it's a lot of pressure.
And you've done so much for the game, and you said you had 52 mares that you bred this year. Are there any in particular that you're particularly excited about?
Well, obviously, Havre de Grace, who's back in foal to Tap It Again, and Better, 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 who is also, she's in, gosh, trying to remember who's in foal to who.
I don't envy you.
Okay, so Aloof is in foal to Tap It, and Groupie Doll is in foal to Tap It, and Havre de Grace, Aloof, and Better all had Tappets last year. All three were boys, so I was not happy with them.
You do like your mares, that's for sure. And
so I think there'll be a few of them for sale next year.
Got it. Well, Havre de Grace also has a 2-year-old by Warfront. Will he be making his start soon?
He's still in training at Goldmark. He will probably be making an appearance at Belmont, but won't be ready to run till probably October, November. His name is Riverfront.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to that, and best of luck here with Heavenly Grace.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, Greg, back to you.
Maggie, thank you. So 14-1 on Heavenly Grace, who is out of Havre de Grace, who was a 2011 Horse of the Year in a campaign that included right here a victory in the Woodward against males.
And she should maybe get the victory here given that pedigree, but she definitely has the pedigree to improve with 2 turns, but she really needs to improve off of her last race, and she can.
Well, we will see if experience pays dividends in this race coming up. The 4 Presumptuous, they're going to be start number 13 here this afternoon, and certainly one of her better races was going a mile and a 16th at Belmont, although, of course, that's a 1-turn mile and a 16th.
Exactly, and you know, she has been right there. She's been picking up checks really every time that she's brought out, and you see the company lines that she's held. Holy Helena, who obviously went up to Canada and win the Queen's Plates, but I don't know how she's going to turn the tables on a horse like Tapella in here.
Well, I think, you know, you ask yourself 2 questions in a race like this. If you think that Tapella is just going to win, you don't really worry about it. If Tapella doesn't handle the stretch out and doesn't run a race, the race becomes open to really just about any of them. And Presumptuous is good enough to beat the others in here. The problem is when you have had 12 starts, Paul, and you have 7 seconds and thirds, you get a horse that's been in situations where she could have won and repeatedly has lost.
Yeah, you know, I repeat on the show a lot of times about checking off the boxes, and Jimmy Bond has. He's went on a sloppy racetrack. He's sprinted. He's gone long on the turf. He's gone long on the dirt. He's cut this horse back. And it's the same movie each time, second or third. I mean, how many times can you watch it?
No, I agree. I mean, listen, can she win? Of course she can win. The 3 economies of scale, a first-time starter for Al Stahl. And going out for Connections, Carvage Stable, that actually tied Michael Dubb for the owner's race. That race is tight, too. Like the trainers and jockeys. The jockeys has been far apart. I don't know. This horse didn't cost much. There's not much pedigree. And do you really want a 1 1/8 debuter in this field? Because the 6 might be okay. If the 6 shows up, how's this horse going to beat her?
Yeah, this is a confusing start for this filly because you see 3 back. They put this horse on the Oklahoma training track on the turf and tried to see maybe if she liked it there. Maybe they couldn't find a spot for her. So, you know, maybe Albert wanted this horse to go long on the dirt, and that's what she's going to get today. You get Ricardo Santana. She's 17-1, so not without a price in here. And again, you know, 4-5 on the 6, but wow, this horse is like 1-5 in the pick 3s. It's not even close.
Yeah, listen, Tapella, I understand people looking at horses, and I'm somebody who tries to beat favorites all the time. And listen, the 1 Brilliant Missy and the 8-2 Super could show some early speed, make it tough for her. But it wasn't just, and Gabby and I talked about it, I'll let Gabby expand on it. It wasn't just that she finished second last time. She was really trying hard the whole way against the heavy favorite Covenant, a very good horse for Bill Mott.
Yeah, Andy, as you were mentioning, she was just chasing around a 3-5 shot Covenant. She's so good, you can't really compare a horse like Covenant to any of the foes that she's matching here today. So it was Valiant in defeat.
She was odds-on Covenant in that race. She would have been maybe 1-5, 1-9 in this race. We'll see if Tapella can handle the stretch out. The 6 horse here for Todd Pletcher. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus, for the call.
Tiz Super will be second last to go into the starting gate, and Red Curls will complete the line. Tapella just up to 4-5 now on the board as Red Curl steps up, goes in. They're all in line. They're off. Bogulator comes out running well. Brilliant Missy on the inside. On the far outside, it's Tiz Super with early speed. And rushing up between horses, Economies of Scale is close up to the pace as well with Presumptuous. And to their outside comes Tapella, who's just a little bit wide into that turn. So they make their way around that first turn. Tiz Super emerging up top, leads the way by 1.5 lengths. Splitting horses, Economies of Scale takes second. Tapella's third on the outside. Brilliant Missy's on the rail in fourth. Then Presumptuous in fifth. Heavenly Grace sixth on the inside, followed by Bogulator, Parade, and far behind is Red Curls. They went 23.49. It was a solid first quarter mile for front-running Tiz Super and Erad Ortiz Jr., who head them by 2 up the backstretch. And then it's Tapella, Economies of Scale, and Brilliant Missy on the inside. Presumptuous tracks them fifth by 2.5. Heavenly Grace drops back a bit sixth. Then Parade and Bogulator going with her, and Red Curls having trouble keeping contact after a 46.98 half mile. Tiz Super on top into the far turn. Tapella's a length behind her now. Presumptuous is let loose on the outside in third. These three take close order on the far turn. And then it's Economies of Scale. Brilliant Missy on the inside starting to tire. Bogulator just went by those two, as did Parade. And then comes Heavenly Grace, and they're coming toward the top of the stretch, where it is still Tiz Super trying to cling to the lead here. Presumptuous has made a bid on the far outside, and between them it's Tapella. In the center, Bogulator is coming on too, and so too Parade. She's right behind horses. Presumptuous has taken the lead here. Parade has moved up into second. Tapella's given way on the inside, and then it's Bogulator in the center of the track. It's Presumptuous and Parade takes the lead. Parade and Dylan Davis go on to victory here. To beat Presumptuous, Tapella ends up third over Bogulator in a final time of 1 minute 51.30 seconds.
Parade the win for trainer Shug McGahee. Dylan Davis aboard, coming out of 2-7 furlong events.
Exactly. It appears that all she really needed was a little bit of added distance and a little help on the front end there too. We saw the 8 Tiz Super take the aggressive approach and originally go to the lead, and then kind of the race shifted from there. We saw Tapella really no excuse. She was stalking from off the pace. She didn't fire today. And we also saw Presumptuous, guys. Well, she was stalking a perfect trip and she just couldn't quite fire, similarly to many times in the past where she's gotten beat. But Parade showed up today.
She did, and she won, and we'll give her a lot of credit. It was a terrific ride by Dylan Davis. Impatient. I completely disagree that Tapella had no excuse. She was 4 wide on the first turn, 3 wide into the 2-path the second turn, chasing a monstrously fast pace that completely and totally fell apart except for her. And I actually think Tapella the favorite very, very, very well in here under the circumstances, but Parade was able to take advantage of situation, and perhaps Presumptuous moved a little soon, Paul.
Yeah, this was a weird run race. It really was. You go back to the beginning of this race, I think Johnny V got caught by surprise that a lot of these horses were going to go to the front end, but looks like it's a clean break besides the 8 and the 9. The 9 just has an awful break here, Red Curls, and the 8 goes to the front end, but what happens is now the 6 is 5 wide.
Well, the 5 is.
Yeah.
The 5 is sitting, the 6, excuse me, is sitting on the fence, saving all the ground while they're blistering up front. Credit Dylan Davis. Dynamics helped, but Dylan gave this horse a perfect ride.
Yeah, and the problem is here, you know, Gabby, we were talking about this horse was being green, and then I looked over at Andy for a split second when Bogulator made this big move. You know, Dylan was still sitting chilly on Parade.
Dylan really was very, very patient here, and his patience was absolutely rewarded. You're right. You look at Bogulator making that big 3-wide extended move. Dylan stayed on the rail for half the turn and didn't angle out into the middle. She may have, was she best? I don't know who was best. I know the best ride was the winning ride.
So Dylan Davis on Parade, the win at a price here 6-1 to start things off in this late pick 4. 5, 4, 6, 7, and we're underway here in the final 4 races on the card. First one here in the books. Parade out dueling Presumptuous to the wire, pulling away late to get the victory here for the Phipps stable. And Shug McGahee still to come. Trainer Elizabeth Voss took over for her father in a win in a race named after a horse that he trained would be extra special. The John's Call is next with Renown for Elizabeth Voss.
And they're off. Naira Bet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NairaBets.com. Bet the Naira Bet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NairaBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Naira track or New York OTB location. Naira Bet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live. Rough break from the gate for the outside horse. Falls to her knees, red curls out of the gate in the end. Parade the best of the bunch here. Shug McGahee, Phipps Stable, Dylan Davis. Collect the money, $14.80 for the win. Presumptuous winds up second. Tapella, very short price favorite, running third in here. Second time out and first time going long for Todd Pletcher. Let's head it downstairs to Maggie.
Here with winning rider Dylan Davis. And Dylan, we were discussing, wow, how good it feels to win in the old Black and Cherry.
Oh, it feels very great. You know, last time I won for them was with the Bug. It was a long time ago, but to get back in the irons and get in the winner's circle, it means a lot to me.
And you rode this horse for the Phipps and Shug McGahee pretty much perfectly. I'm not trying to flatter you, but sensing that quick pace up front, you were very patient with her.
Well, she pretty much did her own thing. You know, with me and Shuggy, we just break out of the gate where she's very comfortable. Saved all the ground I could, you know, and then when she wants to run, she decides when to run. She started making her move there at the 3/8 pole, and I just got her. I knew I saved all the ground, so if she wanted to tip out, she could tip out, and she knew what she had to do.
And Dylan, how's fatherhood treating you? How is baby Michael Dillon?
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. You know, nothing like having a baby.
Well, congratulations on being a father and winning here with Parade.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, all smiles here with Dylan Davis, Greg.
Yes, it is. Well done from that young man who is starting to make big strides late in that Belmont meet. And now nice to get a win, as Maggie mentioned, in those silks here at Saratoga.
He's doing a great job, and congratulations to him with his newborn, but he's had a fantastic meet so far and riding incredibly smart races as well.
Well done by Dylan.
All right. Well, New York Racing Association is the industry leader in Spanish language content. Each and every race day, Luis Grandison provides both pre-race analysis and live race calls in Spanish. You can find his race calls conveniently located on the Naira Now app.
El comando por dos cuerpos. Morocco ha dominado el comando por dos cuerpos y medio en los 150 de atrás. Business Expense viene avanzando por fuera. Business Expense avanzando y pasó de viaje. Business Expense a Morocco. Tercera está finalizando.
That was Business Expense getting the victory there to kick off things in the late pick 5 for trainer Chad Brown. A nice price at 5-1. Again, we'll take a look at the pick 5 follow along. The 10 Business Expense returns $13.80. The number 5 Parade, a nice $14.80, and we still have 3 races to go.
Yeah, if you're alive in this Naira Bets late pick 5 pool, 116,000 in the pool. Good luck to you. Long way to go, but this could be very, very enticing this afternoon. Time for what's trending now in the game. And, of course, the Travers has been trending all week long here at Saratoga Springs. Grade 2, Jim Dandy winner Good Samaritan looking very good indeed ahead of the $1.25 million Grade 1 Travers this Saturday. He was on the work tab on Sunday and looking sensational, and all signs pointing to running big right back. It's from @Picks by Dynasty. Wow, so Songbird and Lady Eli running on Saturday, and the Travers Saturday's card going to be a fun one to handicap. It is a loaded card. Lady Eli, Antono, Dickinson all in that race. As we take a look at the lineup in that Woodford Reserve Ballston Spa, we have Dre Fong, Mind Your Biscuits in the Forgo. Sword Dancer is going to be sensational. Of course, the Travers absolutely loaded with all 3 individual winners of horse racing's Triple Crown.
Typical Saturday here at Saratoga, right?
That is a card of which there are very few anywhere in the world on a calendar year, and we're going to have one for you coming up this Saturday. Of course, the Travers draw happened just the other night here in town. Loaded field, and Paul Always Dreaming, Kentucky Derby winner, looking to bounce back.
And it's really tough to tell. Can he really bounce back? I mean, let's be honest, the last 10 to 12 Kentucky Derby winners have not thrown in a clunker like that in the Preakness, and then thrown in another clunker in the Jim Dandy on a rail where him and Cloud Computing were just going at it. Now, this work coming back, a lot more energy. You made a point, Greg, that, or Gabby made a point that Ty was really not pointing for the Jim Dandy. They also weren't pointing to run the way they did in the Jim Dandy. I think that's what a lot of people forget. Everybody wants to keep saying, oh, they're pointing for this, they're pointing for that. Well, you know what? You got to do something in between so you could get to that point. Here's Tappert's best day in the Belmont Stakes and got the job done. I think he's the better of the 2. I thought he ran a good Derby, a sneaky good Derby, came back to run a great Belmont. His only one clunker he threw in was at Keeneland. And talking to Jose Ortiz after that race, he said, I just don't understand. The horse just did not take to the track at all. So to me, Tappert, better proposition than Always Dreaming.
Nice little duo to have for the Travers with the Derby winner and the Belmont Stakes winner. Here's Todd Pletcher. Andy Serling had a chance to catch up with him and talk about Tappert's game plan going into the Travers.
No, actually, Aaron Wellman and I spoke about it a couple weeks after the Belmont, and I think he had spoken to all the connections, and everyone was sort of in agreement that we felt like, you know, the Travers was the race for him, and that we felt like if we ran in either Jim Dandy or the Haskell, we might leave a little something on the table there that we'd like to save for the Travers.
And he's training well since the Belmont?
I think he's been training exceptionally well. He's put in some really good breezes, and you know, I feel good that we have him fit enough and fresh enough to fire his A race.
Meanwhile, Andy Serling, Cloud Computing, we know how badly trainer Chad Brown wants to win this race. He wants to win it more than a Kentucky Derby. What went wrong in the Jim Dandy?
Well, that's really the million-dollar question, and I don't have an absolute answer. I will say the pace was a lot hotter than people expected, and some may realize. He was never on the inside. It was a super, super strong rail, a rail where the winner spent the majority of the race on it, and Always Dreaming spent the entire race on it, so he was never on the coveted inside position, and he was coming off of a 2.5-month layoff, and it was a prep. Chad Brown feels the track is a little bit better than it was at that time. He thought it was very tiring, and it might help him. I'm going to hope he bounces back. I know that his Preakness is good enough to win this race. The inside draw helps, and the track continues to play somewhat towards the inside. He's not going to be hurt by being inside, and I'm going to believe he can bounce back. I'm not going to give up after one race, but you do have to be a little bit concerned after his performance in the Jim Dandy.
Well, the good news, if you're a cloud computing fan, trainer Chad Brown says he's been a different horse in his morning works.
Since the race, I thought about the Travers a little bit. I figured he needs to earn his way in there. He came back and worked great twice over this track, and the track since tightened up nicely. It's been in really good shape, and he's earned his way in the race.
Meanwhile, McCracken, there's so many other storylines in this race. Gabby McCracken ran too good to lose in that Haskell Invitational stretch duel with Gervin. It was a big effort when he just missed by a nose.
Absolutely, and here he is in his final prep and his final workout in prep for the Travers, and he did breeze 4 furlongs in 51 and change, and it was an energetic workout there. He's a horse, like I said, ran too well to lose in the Haskell, an early premature move. We'll see if he has a little bit more of a delayed move in the Travers.
Yeah, that was Tuesday over the Oklahoma training track here at Saratoga for McCracken. Here is his trainer, Ian Wilkes, on what he got out of that morning workout.
You know, what's the old saying, just what I wanted. Perfect. No, seriously, it was what I wanted, you know, just a light work. I didn't want to do too much today, but I wanted to do something. He needed to do something. I watched him gallop yesterday. I just needed to do a little bit today. He's always been a little tough to pull up, always wants to do more, you know, so you have to try and control what you do. If you just let him go, he'd do a lot more. He'd go around again. He'd break off and go again if you let him. He's doing extremely well. He come off today, he's not even blowing, you know, which, you know, if he's blowing too much today, I'm in trouble, you know, because this is just a maintenance, just to keep him ticking over, keep him happy, and so it's all good. Yeah, there's no one divisional leader, you know, everyone's beating everyone, you know, so it's a well-bunched, well-matched group.
Ian Wilkes said it best. There is no clear-cut leader, so everybody taking a shot. McCracken 5 for 8 in his career. The only time he did not hit the board was he got bumped around at the beginning of the Kentucky Derby.
The Travers is going to be huge in terms of clearing up the picture of the 3-year-old division.
That's a look at the field. Still more to come on the Travers on Saturday. Who will follow in Arrogate's footsteps? Who will step up? We're going to take a break. We'll be back. He was a true rags to riches story, purchased for $4,000. He became a millionaire and Grade 1 winner, setting a Saratoga record in the process. John's calls next.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record-breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. Back on Saratoga Live. Thanks for being with us here on this Wednesday afternoon. Special day today. It was First Responders Appreciation Day at Saratoga, honoring police, firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics. They all received free admission, and a special celebration for them was held, honoring the work they do, their bravery, and a special celebration held in the winner's circle after the 4th race, which was named in their honor on this Wednesday afternoon. If you can't watch Saratoga Live on the air with us, you can always view the show on the go with the Naira Now app. Naira Now also provides live video, replays, expert analysis videos, and contender workouts, all in the palm of your hand. Download the Naira Now app today to stay up to date on everything happening at Saratoga during Travers Week. Our feature race is the John's Call. Back in 2000, the 9-year-old, he was 3 years older than anybody else in the field, became the oldest runner to win a Grade 1 ever at Saratoga, and look how he won it by 9.5 lengths. Incredible horse who was actually purchased to be a jumper for the late Tom Voss, who of course was just recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. John's Call won or placed in 30 of 40 starts in his career. He earned over $1.5 million. Pretty incredible horse. By the time he was 2, trainer Tom Voss realized a couple of things. They got him to be a jumper. They realized the horse couldn't jump at all. Also, Tom Voss realized he had the wrong horse. The owners actually bought 2 horses at the same time, sent them to South Carolina to be broken. One was sent to Voss, the other Stewart's Affair, sent to another trainer. So Tom Voss, set to enter Stewart's Affair in a race, looked at the lip tattoo and realized instead he had John's Call. They were together ever since, and of course the rest is history.
Little mix up there.
That worked out
no
pretty well.
No big deal. Now
Elizabeth Voss, of course, taking over for her father, stepping right in for him. When he passed away at the age of 63, she didn't even skip a beat. She was at the barn the very next day and has been there ever since.
She's done a phenomenal job, and John's Call was an excellent horse. He's so fun, as you were mentioning, rags to riches kind of story. And even after he retired from his illustrious career, Greg, he became a pony for Tom Voss. So they kept him around in the barn.
Yeah, they were a familiar sight together here on the backstretch at Saratoga out of barn 85. Of course, Elizabeth Voss will be sending out the 5 Renown in this race. Julien Leperoux will be aboard. 7-2 right now. Wide open group. As you see everybody on the board between 5-2 and 9-2 here in this race.
And right now, the 7 Red Rifle is your current lukewarm favorite. But the issue with him is that he just hasn't won in quite some time. Guys, do you think that this could be a vulnerable favorite?
Yeah, I think he's an extremely vulnerable favorite. I really don't think he did much running, though he was compromised by a slow pace in his last turf race. That was 2 races back. I guess he can win, Paul. It's just he was blocked 2-3 back. He just doesn't seem like he's in the win mood for a while.
He's 0 for 9 his last 2 years, and now you got to run him off of a layoff in the Aladar, where he's now going to run 3 races here at Saratoga at age 7. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't think he's the same horse. The old Red Rifle wins this race, and he's 6-5.
It just feels like Todd is not treating him like he's a particularly good horse. He's just taking shots with him, which is what you do sometimes. Yeah. Now, the 3 Infinite Wisdom will try to wire the field, and I'd love to see Brian Lynch get off what's been a tough meet for him. He was on a very, 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 very slow pace last time out. And, yeah, he almost won the race. And Muktasar came back and won a 2-horse race where the second horse didn't show up. I just have trouble getting him to wire this field in my own 5/8.
I can't do it either. I bet Muktasar, who held him off, and Messi was 10 lengths the best in that race, so I just can't do it either at 7-2.
Yeah, I'm interested in this race in Montclair and Nessie, but we'll talk about them later. Let's hear from Maggie first.
And horses on the walking ring for our current favorite towards the outside. Number 7, Red Rifle, currently at 2-1. He deserves it. To me, this horse looks better than ever now as a 7-year-old. I think he really kind of thrives up here. His weight is very, very good, and he just seems cool, calm, collected. I like the turf for him a bit more than dirt, and I thought he ran very well behind his stablemate in Rally Cry last time. So I think Red Rifle is heading into this race in the right kind of way. Now, to his inside is number 6. That is Nessie, and he's been kind of steadily stretching out in distance and has obviously experience going this Rally ground, 1.5 miles here today, and he just has the air of a confident horse, just nicely on the bridle. He's extremely fit, but a super coat to him overall. These two guys were the two that caught my eye the most here in the John's Call as riders are up and they're hitting the track. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. So Nessie, the 6, the 7, Red Rifle, 4-1, 2-1 on the board. The two that caught Maggie's eye. We'll have the post parade coming up here in just a moment. I want to remind everybody, if you're playing with Naira Bets, you can win more on this upcoming race here today. Hit the trifecta on your mobile device in the John's Call Stakes, and you're in a 10% winner's bonus. Naira Bets offers this trifecta winner's bonus on a different Saratoga Stakes race every day. You can see the full list at nairabets.com. Post Parade coming up. It is brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, you can visit OCDpellets.com. Let's see St. Louis to start things off here, but again, a completely wide open field unless we listen to what Maggie said here, and she loves the way both the outside two look, but certainly Red Rifle in here, and Red Rifle was the one to beat here for Todd Pletcher on the morning line.
And you have to love a horse like this. He's 7 years old. He's a multiple winner on the dirt, synthetic, the turf. He shows up really every time, and he's getting a class relief.
And all kinds of back class, having previously run in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup turf a few years back. Here is St. Louis to kick things off for Three Diamonds Farm, trained by Mike Maker with Luis Saez.
Will likely be forwardly placed along with Infinite Wisdom, has never run a race good enough to beat most of these.
Infinite Wisdom, the 3, sent out by Ammerman Racing, trained by Brian Lynch with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
Is undoubtedly in good form, could be the controlling speed, but has to get a 1 5/8.
Montclair sent out by R.A. Hill Stable. George Weaver off the claim here, and Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard.
Was really unlucky not to win last time out when behind a wall of horses, but then the last time was confusing, but claimed by George Weaver, who's good off the claim.
Elizabeth Voss trains Renowned. Her dad had trained John's Call back in the day, sent out by Maribel Stable with Julian Leperoux.
Hasn't run well in the last 2 starts, but did run a creditable 3rd in this race last year.
Edmund and Sharon Houdon trained, sent out Nessie, I should say, for trainer Ian Wilkes with Javier Castellano aboard.
Yeah, Nessie in the 1 St. Louis. They come out of the same race. They almost ran the same race. I think they're both live in here.
And Twin Creeks Racing Stable send out Red Rifle Jose Ortiz for Todd Pletcher.
Certainly has the races to win this, and he is the horse to beat in here. I just think his recent form is a little bit suspect.
He'll be looking for just the 3rd win on turf in 17 career starts. Andy, how are you going to play this race?
I like this race. I think it's a good betting race because I think it's open to pretty much anybody. I like the 4-horse Montclair. I'm really excited about this horse with the claim for George Weaver. He did run badly last time, but it was a speed-dominated race. His prior race with traffic trouble was good. He's run plenty of figures fast enough to win, and I'm going to box him with the 6 Nessie. I think it's a terrific rider change, Javier Castellano, after having a wide trip to nowhere last time out.
John's Call is coming up next here on Saratoga Live. Will Red Rifle, the 7-year-old with the back class, be able to fire his best shot here in our feature race? We'll find out when we come back.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use Naira Bets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at nairabets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on nairabets.com.
Back here on Saratoga Live, the John's Call coming up next. Horse who won as a 9-year-old, a Grade 1 here at Saratoga. Then we're going to win another Grade 1 in the Turf Classic and place 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Turf that year. Taking a look here at St. Louis, who I know the guys downstairs disagreed a little bit about. What were your thoughts here on this 5-year-old, Gabby?
I thought that he could probably get an ideal trip inside, just stalking from off of the pace. I just worry whether or not he's good enough.
6-1 right now on St. Louis in here. He did have a win at a mile and 3/8. Couple back, that was against considerably easier here, Paul, than what he's going to face this afternoon.
Yeah, here's the deal. Like, the mile and 3/8 races here at Saratoga, the last like 3 or 4 years, 8-hole and out are like 0 for like 30-something. So if you look back at St. Louis, who was in the 10-hole, and Nessie, who was in the 9-hole, St. Louis had to rush to the front end and try to get to the front end. He sort of made a middle move and got there. I thought it was a way better effort. He's going to be able to sit if he breaks better today. 6-1, I thought, was a great price.
Meanwhile, with more on the horse to probably catch here on the front end, let's go to Maggie.
Right, Greg. Infinite Wisdom will try to take them gate to, well, wire and wire again, I suppose is how we're going to look at it here. You know, he's a horse that in the past has had the propensity to get a little bit on his toes, a little bit riled up, but he's not today. He's extremely relaxed for him, which I think bodes well for trying to get this mile and 5/8 distance. He also looks better than what I'd seen him earlier on in the meet. So maybe just training here at Saratoga, or excuse me, training back at Belmont, it has suited him a bit better. Now, Brian Lynch, he's been awfully cold this meet, but he is too good of a trainer, and his horses always look much better than what that current meet statistic looks like. So just hoping Brian can break through at some point here. We'll see if it is with Infinite Wisdom. But with more on Nessie, Andy, do you like or don't like Nessie?
No, I do like Nessie. I mean, I'm betting Montclair in here, but I'm boxing with Nessie, and I'm playing some pick 3s now that my pick 4 is dead. But, you know, Nessie to me, I think it's a gigantic rider switch to Javier Castellano. With all due respect to Brian Hernandez, I just feel like after breaking a step slow, he was just out of position the entire way last time, 3 wide, basically around the track, and pressing a pace to collapse. Now, Paul makes a reasonable point to me. I agree that St. Louis was on that pace, and I can't ignore him. I just feel like Nessie was always out of position. And also, I like the prior race that Nessie ran, albeit against Weaker at Churchill, and I'm hoping this horse can be sitting 3rd here and maybe be in the right spot today with Javier.
And then what do you do with Infinite Wisdom? Where does that horse sit today? Do you have to be on the front end with that horse?
No, but he has no chance to win rating here.
He's got hang in him, doesn't he, Gabby?
Infinite Wisdom, I mean, the tactic here is to go to the lead, and that's why last time out I thought it was a very curious move in that Angel Aurora, who was aboard that day, he tried to slow down the pace too much, and so much so that Mudasser just went right by him and went wire to wire. So he comes out of a curious race last time out. I just hope they get aggressive with him and go to the lead and try to dictate.
Yeah, it's all how slow can these fractions be at this marathon mile and 5/8? And is there any chance Luis Saez maybe tries to put a little pressure on early?
He could, but that's why I'm saying in Infinite Wisdom, I think the approach is just to get out of the gate and get that position. Don't let anybody else take it from you.
Well, starting to see a little separation here on the board anyway. 5-2 favoritism on the 7 Red Rifle, who was the morning line favorite. Also at that number, the horse we expect to see in front, who we're just talking about. And can Brian Lynch break through here, get his first winner of the meet? With the horse is going to be in front likely all by himself. A couple new audiences joining us here as we get set for the John's Call, our feature coming up. The Travers field is all set. Kentucky Derby winner, Always Dreaming, and Belmont Stakes winner, Taprit, lead the way for trainer Todd Pletcher into Saturday's Triple Crown Showdown. Champion Philly Songbird returns to Saratoga. We'll have the latest on last year's Coaching Club American Oaks and Alabama winner as she gears up for the Personal Ensign. Elizabeth Voss took over the reins of her father's stable after his passing. Today she'll try and win the John's Call with Renown named after a race that her father trained. And it's been a life in pictures for horse racing photographer Barbara Livingston. We'll hear her story coming up and what goes into capturing all those priceless memories that she has provided to us over the years. Welcome to Saratoga Live, and those just joining us on Fox Sports 2 and Altitude Network. It's presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Our feature coming up. You can play along from home as you watch these races by getting signed up and started with Naira Bets. Go to nairabets.com. If you bet 200, you'll get 200 in your account using that promo code PIG5. It's available all across the country. Greg Wolf alongside Gabby Gaudet. We have Andy Serling, former New York Met, Paul LaDuca, and Maggie Wolfendale as you see our analyst selections there. And Gabby, right now, favoritism. Well, we have two on the board co-favored. The Speedster, the 3, Infinite Wisdom, and Red Rifle to the outside for Todd Pletcher.
Well, first of all, just looking at our selections on the board, that just goes to show you what a tremendous betting race this is. And I do prefer Infinite Wisdom. Obviously, the question is, can he handle the distance? I like the fact that he obviously gets in with a little bit of a lighter weight than Renown and the Rail Horse. The strategy there is to go, but of course, the 7, Red Rifle, well, he's got the back class. He just hasn't shown it recently.
Let's check in now with Andy Serling, Paul LaDuca downstairs. And guys, anything changed for you in terms of the board or who you like here?
I'm very interested in the 4 Montclair. George Weaver does not claim that often.
No, he doesn't.
He's only claimed 4 turf horses, had 4 horses off the claim on the turf over the last 5 years, and he won with 2 of them. And actually, the 2 wins, both wins, 2 of 3 were at 10 furlongs and beyond. So he's been very selective in doing it. When he's done it, Paul, he's been successful.
No, he's been very good. You're right. He's 3 for 8 on it and on the move, and even farther you can keep going. His race 2 back wins this race. He was loaded, and he was going to win that race at a 1.5 miles, and he just, what it says, it got stymied. Then he came back and just ran confusingly bad. Now, George Weaver, like you said, so sharp off the layoff in 31.60 days, about 18%. So maybe he's the horse that does make one run. He needs a little pace to run into. Yeah, Infinite Wisdom goes to the front. I'm still a little confused why Red Rifle is your favorite. I get it. He's got all the class. You know, one time in his career, Wolfie, he was actually a front-end runner, a horse that wanted to go to the front end. They changed his running style, actually changed his career around a little bit. They might have to be up close today.
Now, that would be very interesting to see if there's a reversal yet again with that horse here coming up. It is Infinite Wisdom, who we know wants to be on the front. Red Rifle, both the 5-2 favorites in here. Wide open group. We don't know really of anybody in this field who's going to be able to stay the mile and 5 ace. It's the great unknown here.
I'd say probably Renowned, right? I mean, at least he has experience as a stayer, so we'll see. But he does have to carry the high weight of 123 pounds.
And that one, of course, Renowned, the 5, trained by Elizabeth Voss. Her father, just inducted into the Hall of Fame, passed away at the age of 63, trained the great John's Call. Be a special moment to win this race here for Elizabeth Voss and family. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing, Larry Colmus, with the call.
Nessie has moved into the gate. Red Rifle will be the last one, as Infinite Wisdom is now the 2-1 favorite on the board. They're all in line. We're ready for a start. They're off in the John's Call, and Infinite Wisdom comes right out of their running and takes the early lead. St. Louis will be second in the initial stages here, and then it's Nessie on the outside of Montclair, Red Rifle, and Renown is last as they make their way into the first turn. Infinite Wisdom takes up the early running. Erad Ortiz Jr. has Infinite Wisdom 2.5 lengths ahead of St. Louis as they go past the opening quarter mile in 25.79 seconds. And then it's Nessie in third, about 6 lengths off the lead. They're followed by Montclair racing inside of Red Rifle, and Renown will be last as they come into the stretch for the first time. So it's been Infinite Wisdom since the gates opened here, and Infinite Wisdom is comfortably in front, leads the way by 2.5 lengths. In the clear from St. Louis running along in second. Nessie follows in third position here. And then Red Rifle to the outside. They ambled through a 51.68 half mile. Montclair is second last. Renown trails the field with a lap to go. Infinite Wisdom headlining the John's Call field into the clubhouse turn here. Still in front, but only by a length. as St. Louis is brought closer by Luis Saez up into second position. On the inside is Nessie and Red Rifle alongside. Behind them are the trailers Montclair and Renown. 3/4 of a mile, a tortoise-like 1:17.90 seconds as they go on to the backstretch. It is Infinite Wisdom who leads the way by 3/4 of a length. St. Louis turning up the heat somewhat now in second. And then it's Nessie in third, Red Rifle, perched outside fourth, 2.5 lengths from the front. Montclair and Renown at the back, 5.5 lengths off of Infinite Wisdom, who has made this easy pace so far. Infinite Wisdom by just a neck. St. Louis on the outside second. Red Rifle is alongside of Nessie. They're 2 lengths behind. Paired up are Montclair and Renown, and they're 5 lengths behind. Around the far turn, it is still Infinite Wisdom trying to take them every step of the way of this 1 5/8 race. St. Louis draws even. Red Rifle ridden to go, 2 lengths off of them. Nessie is down on the inside. Renown and Montclair, they're into the stretch, and it is still Infinite Wisdom. Infinite Wisdom set down for another furlong by Arad Ortiz. A 2-length lead on St. Louis. On the inside is Nessie, and then comes Red Rifle. Infinite Wisdom's holding on to the lead here. Nessie is second. St. Louis is third. Infinite Wisdom takes him every step of the way in the John's Call, defeating Nessie, and then came St. Louis and Red Rifle in a final time of 2 minutes 40.52 seconds.
Hedge trimming ride by Arad Ortiz Jr. and Infinite Wisdom takes him all the way in the front end.
Well, I'm glad to see Brian Lynch get off what's been a tough meet for him, especially after this weekend's Alabama. Infinite Wisdom did the proverbial steel job on the front end. Nobody could gain an inch as they crawled around the track.
Yeah, you can't blame Luis Saez, right? They went 1:17.4, Gabby, and you're thinking, okay, if I'm Luis Saez on the 1, let's turn this into a 2-horse race. He just didn't have anything to run down the 3. Good call by you. This horse just controlled things from the start.
Yeah, it's always a question of how long they can run, but if they go that slowly on the front end, they could probably run all day, and that's what we saw from Infinite Wisdom. And like you said, Paulie, Luis Saez tried to contest the pace at one point, but he just didn't have the horse to do so. I will say, given the pace dynamic, it was a good race by Nessie, who tried to sneak up the rail. Just Infinite Wisdom had enough left in the tank to hold him off.
3-6-1-7 and 51-3, 117-4 for the 6 furlongs in here, and able to do it exactly as he wanted to here in the front end. He actually showed a little competitive nature here when it started to kick in the end.
Absolutely. Around and around they go. We see 3, 6, 1, and 7, your unofficial order of finish. And taking a look here, Songbird, well, she's arrived. The fabulous filly flew in from the West Coast on Tuesday and settled in nicely. Last year, she dominated during her stay at the Saratoga. Can she swoop in for a win in the Personal Ensign? We'll discuss it next.
Visit the new Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and where the hottest new slots are paying out millions. Sign up for Rush Rewards and play up to $500 in slots on us. Plus, we'll double any casino offer and match your tier. Rivers Casino and Resort.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 1:08 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at nyrabets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on nyrabets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live, Irad Ortiz Jr. heads into the winner's circle on Infinite Wisdom. Well done taking this field gate to wire every step of the way on the lead for the win. $6.60 for the victory, owned by Ammerman Racing. And for Brian Lynch, first taste of this winner's circle here at Saratoga. Nessie winds up second. St. Louis completes the trifecta. Let's send it downstairs to Maggie.
Breathing a sigh of relief here in the John's Call with Brian Lynch, who sent out Infinite Wisdom here. And Lynchy, looking at Irad's ride, it was probably exactly what you were wishing for.
Yeah, no doubt. They left him alone. He got pedestrian pace, and I always said to Irad, the longer they leave you alone, the better off you'll be. So, and we've always felt that the further this horse goes, the better he'll be. And he looked very comfortable. His ears were pricked throughout. So. I was hoping when they came at him, he just could find that bit extra. Fortunately, we did, because we needed to get off the Shrine, and if you're going to do it, get it off it in 100 grander. So that was a good result.
Exactly. Were you always having the John's Call in mind for him?
Certainly when his last couple of races suggested the form was good around him. Both horses come back to win, and they come out solid races, and his numbers were very good. Fitted well in here, and like I said, Maggie, I was always looking to try him over this sort of distance, and they're unique races. They're not around a lot, and we got the distance today, so it opens up a lot of avenues for him for marathon races.
That is exciting. Another exciting turf horse in your barn is Oscar Performance. How is he doing? Where can we see him next?
Oscar's back at Belmont, so we're looking towards the Joe Hurst for him. Probably take on older horses. We're limited with 3-year-old races are available, so and that'll give us the option of running him over 1.5 miles against older horses, and if he was to step up there, then we'd really have the Breeders' Cup Marathon, the 1.5 mile race in the crosshairs for the Breeders' Cup.
Well, Lynchy, congratulations here with the John's Call win. Gonna have a good night tonight.
Thank you, Maggie.
Back to you, Greg.
Oh, it must feel good to get that first win of the meet. Of course, Oscar Performance, Belmont Derby and Secretariat winner on Arlington Million Day. So he's going to tackle Elders in his next, and that will likely come at Belmont during their fall meeting coming up. Big weekend ahead. Not only the Travers, a loaded undercard that includes two-time champion Filly Songbird. She arrived on Tuesday around 2:30 in the afternoon as she gets set to do battle in the Personal Ensign.
First class there, coming off the airplane there, and they're coming off the Sally van. She did arrive in good order, and she's going to have to face 4 other foes. But Greg, well, she surely likes the spas we saw in her dominance last season.
Yeah, she made it her playground, personal playground here last year. Coaching Club American Oaks win, dominant in the Alabama that stretched her record to a perfect 10 for 10 to start her career. Likely just a 4-horse field, but it's the big match race these two are looking at between Songbird and Forever Unbridled, who everyone talks about. Oh, Beholder Songbird won 2 in last year's Breeders' Cup Distaff. Guess who was third right behind them? But Forever Unbridled, and she'll get the rematch on Saturday.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see her. She is just a workhorse. You see her in the morning and the afternoon. She does everything that Jerry Hollendorfer has asked.
Special early time for us, by the way, on Saratoga Live, as you can see right there on Saturday. We will be on at 2 Eastern time until 4:30 with that Personal Ensign. So be sure to join us a little bit earlier than usual on the Saturday afternoon. Of course, the main event, that is the Travers. It features all 3 individual winners of this year's Triple Crown, but they're only a small part of the storyline in a division that right now has a lot more questions than answers. With the 3-year-old division in complete disarray and no clear-cut standout, the Midsummer Derby couldn't come soon enough to restore order. The Travers field includes, for just the 3rd time in its history, separate winners of the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont Stakes, the top 2 finishers from the Haskell, and the best from the West in West Coast. And oh yeah, how about that horse who beat the Derby and Preakness champs in the Jim Dandy? That would be Good Samaritan, who just so happened to be making his debut on a dirt surface that day, rallying from 12.5 lengths back to win by nearly 5. It was a perfect birthday present for Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott, who was celebrating his 64th in dandy fashion.
You know, we like the way he's doing, and we respect all the competition, but I wouldn't trade places with anybody right now.
As for the Kentucky Derby winner, there was no excuse. Always Dreaming was alone on the lead, set reasonable fractions, but came up empty in the stretch. Although his trainer Todd Pletcher was pleased to see him gallop out past the field once they crossed the wire, he knows better is required.
You know, I think that race should bring him forward from a conditioning standpoint, and with 2 quality breezes since then, hopefully he's rounding back into peak form.
Preakness winner Cloud Computing's Jim Dandy performance was perhaps even more puzzling. Chad Brown was hoping for a pace duel up front that never materialized, but more troubling was the fact the horse came back to the barn seeming tired. He's since shown more life in his morning works.
I don't think he really cared for that track in the Jim Dandy. He got quite tired. Since the race, he's worked really well twice now on the main track, and he seems to be getting over it a lot better. And, you know, he seems to be cooling out okay after the work, so far so good.
While Good Samaritan was rolling past everyone in the Jim Dandy, the very next day, Gervin would outdo McCracken in an epic stretch duel in the Haskell Invitational.
Here comes Gervin, and Gervin gets up to win by a nostril over McCracken.
Both returned for the Travers, and both trainers feel the best is yet to come from their 3-year-olds. A race to decide 3-year-old supremacy? You can count on Bob Baffert being involved. Big Race Bob lived up to his nickname on Belmont Day. While he wasn't involved in the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown, he became the story anyway, sweeping all 4 Grade 1 stakes he was entered in, including the easy goer with talented 3-year-old West Coast.
West Coast comes east and wins the easy goer.
And what about the Belmont winner? The Travers will be Taprit's first race since his 1.5 mile score. The plan from there all along was to train him up to the Travers, and he's been training exceptionally well. He was also installed as the morning line favorite. Who will rise to the occasion? We have no idea. But whoever is left standing after the Travers will take over the mantle as the leader of the division. It is going to be absolutely sensational. The house will be packed and rocking here at Saratoga. And I feel like, yeah, a lot of people aren't talking right now about West Coast.
Oh, for sure. Well, why wouldn't you keep Bob Baffert in your repertoire there?
4-1 on West Coast. He's the second choice on the morning line. We'll see if Bob Baffert can go back-to-back in the Travers after Arrogate. It was his coming out party here last year and, of course, went on to become a super horse, but that was the unveiling. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back tomorrow on Saratoga Live. We'll be joined by Hall of Fame jockey Ramon Dominguez. Of course, his red jacket induction to the Walk of Fame here at Saratoga happens Friday.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much-anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. We have returned here on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, and Altitude Sports Network. Thanks for being with us here on this Wednesday afternoon. You can keep playing with Naira Bets after the Saratoga card ends with a 250,000 point all split on the 5th race at Del Mar. Just bet a $10 base exacta in race 5 at Del Mar, and win or lose, split 250,000 points. You can see all the summer promotions and bet racing nationwide at NairaBets.com. Of course, our show is brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. Won at 6 different racetracks, including Keeneland, where he won a Breeders' Cup Sprint. And he also won the Phoenix leading up into that race. A slow start, sloppy track, saddle slipped, facing older horses for the first time, including the defending Breeders' Cup Sprint winner, Work All Week. All of that did not matter as you see him at the farm in Paris, Kentucky. Incredible performance that day from Run Happy. An incredible sprinting career. It was his 4th straight. Run Happy now standing at Claiborne Farm. 9th race is coming up here. It's a New York bred allowance optional claiming field over the inner turf. It'll be at 1 mile and a 16th. And not surprising to see Chad Brown's Nevisian Sky as the 2-to-1 favorite right now. One of the most brutal defeats I have seen in a long time. I don't know how he lost his photo. Also in that race, that was back on August the 2nd, Cliffs of Dover, who had some trouble and was ranked early in that race.
Yes, and the two stories in this race really are Nevisian Sky off of that brutal defeat. He looked like he was home free once he finally was clear at the quarter pole. And then obviously Voodoo Song. The big question is, can he get his 3rd victory at Saratoga?
Let's go back to the August 2nd race. So Nevisian Sky looks like he's going to go on and roll and win this race, and he gets caught by New York Song. Cliffs of Dover, meanwhile, brutal beginning and rank early.
He didn't get off to a great start. Obviously, he broke a little slowly from the get-go, but Paul, from really there on, we saw Luis Saez just really fighting with him going into the first turn.
Tell if he's trying to rate the horse or not. It's not over. This is like not even close to being over. It's going to get even worse right now. And then he just drops him all the way back to last. And, you know, obviously the horse is headstrong. He has shown speed before, but he continues. I mean, this is getting ridiculous and ridiculous. The thing about it that I liked about the horse, when you cut to the pickup, now focus where he's at on the rail, he's actually looks like he's got a shot here to maybe hit the board. Now, Nevisian Sky, Greg Wolf, you were right. Turn your head if you bet Nevisian Sky this day, because I still don't know how New York Song won this bob. But, you know, Cliffs of Dover, to me, still a little bit involved enough to be a player in here.
I'm a fan of Cliffs of Dover, and he ran extremely well in his start 2 back at Aqueduct.
Ooh.
On the other hand, he's really going to have to run to his best race if he's going to beat both the 6 and 8 here. Because at the end of the day, I think they rated him because he's off a layoff, and they were afraid of getting involved in the contentious pace last time. Now with the 6 here, they've got to let him go early. That's Cliffs of Dover, and try to sit 3rd behind the 1 and 6. At the end of the day, though, Nevisian Sky was a little bit questionable going to the last race because he had won his first race in the turf with an absolutely perfect trip and a fast pace around 1 turn at 7 furlongs. Last time he answered the question, though, that he's good going 2 turns, and I think he's very tough to beat. I'm a fan of Cliffs of Dover. I'm using him as well. I just wish he had a couple of races good enough to win this.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a look obviously there at Nevisian Sky, but Cliffs of Dover, the 7. Andy actually liked him in his going into that last race because of his 2016 year ender, where he threw his head at the start, rushed all the way up to the front, and still hung on in a race. He hit the board and ran 3rd against 2 next out winners. That was an intriguing race. So he's certainly a player in here on the board at 10-1 with more on this field. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
And Greg, I will get to Cliffs of Dover in just a second as he is second off of a layoff. But one that's also second off of a layoff is number 4 in here, Reno, who is actually taking some early money here on the board for the Jimmy Bond barn. And it just feels as though that Reno was giving a race last time. He is way more fit than what he was going into that first race, coming off the bench. And look, he's a 7-year-old. He's won twice as many races, even more than that, than any other horse in here. He knows how to find the winner's circle, as he is the only one running for the 40 tag, and he likes it up here in Saratoga, as 2 of those 6 wins career have come here. He's just a lot more fit than what he was, so I'm hoping for a better effort this time from Orino. Now, number 7 is Clips of Dover. He is the second off a layoff, and as we saw, he got very, very ranked going into that first turn beneath Luis Saez, and he's a horse that he tends to get revved up here, and he's particularly revved up here in the paddock again. So whether they're going to employ those kind of speed tactics, I'd like to see it, because I think getting in the way of this horse kind of discourages him, and you're kind of taking away his energy by fighting with him more. So I'm hoping Kana can contain it and his rider can agree with him this time around, Greg.
Well, we've seen him be a bit of a mess early on in his last couple of races. That horse right there, boy, is he intriguing. Voodoo Song, he's gone gate to wire each of his last 2. His last start opened up by 15 lengths at a mile and 3/8 and somehow was able to hang on. We're going to take a break in the action. 2-time Travers winning trainer Bob Baffert looking to go back-to-back. Can West Coast deliver against one of the deepest Travers fields we've seen?
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
You're watching Saratoga Live. Here comes our post parade for race 9. This is a look at the JY pace inside for trainer Mark Hennig with Junior Alvarado.
Yeah, got beat by Uncle Si, who came back to win on Monday, but he's got another one in here that's faster than him in Voodoo Song, the 6.
Leave him at the gate. John Velasquez will be aboard for Leah Giramati.
Won a nice little allowance a couple starts back, but just hasn't managed to break through at the 2 other than level.
Mr. Harlan, the 3, it's Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard for Linda Rice.
Last time Irad got aboard this horse was a winner, 2 for 24 lifetime. Look for him late. He runs his races upside down.
Maggie was talking about Orino, the 4, 6-time winner on the turf for James Bond with Eric Cancel riding.
He's making his second start off of the layoff here, but he used to show speed. Hasn't shown that in his past couple of starts.
David Donk trains Yummy Bear, the 5. He'll have Manny Franco aboard.
Looking for 3 in a row, but really needs to step up. Does have a win here at Saratoga.
This horse has been fun to watch. Can he make it a 3 wins here at the meet? Voodoo Song for Linda Rice with Jose Lezcano.
I can't answer that question, Greg, but I do know he'll be in front.
Cliffs of Dover is the 7, Luis Saez for Tom Bush.
Since they put the blinkers on and killed him, he's been tough to ride. Hopefully Luis Saez can figure him out. He's a live long shot here at 11-1.
Navision Skylost, that brutal photo here back on August 2nd, trained by Chad Brown, owned by Alpha Delta Stables.
But a nice other than when 2 starts back, he does appear to be the horse to beat.
And Zigarch, I thought intriguing here at 10-1 for Mike Maker. Kendrick Carmouche aboard and comes in off a win.
How can this not be a hunch play, Greg Wolf? The mare's name? Saratoga Summer.
Ultimate hunch play coming up. Well, this horse right here, Voodoo Song, second day of the meet. He went gate to wire. He won by 5 1/4 for 40,000. He came back 4 days later, Gabby, at a mile and 3/8, opened up 15 lengths on the field. You're wondering what is going on, and somehow he was able to hang on and make it 2 wins at the meet.
You didn't think he could possibly come back off of short rest with added distance, open up on the field by 16 lengths, and still hang on for the victory. But he did exactly that. And this is his win last time out, where he did beat Vintage Matters. Now, Vintage Matters, a second-place finisher, he came back to run poorly most recently. But the big test for this horse today, Andy, I think, is that he's stepping into deeper waters.
Oh, I agree with that. Now, let's be honest. He was 4 to 5 last time, so a lot of people thought he would win last time out. But he's also got to deal with the JY here. Now, he's going to likely outrun the JY because he's one of these horses that they just let roll on the front end.
He needs to get. He needs to be pushed. The one. You're right.
But Gabby's right. This is a much tougher field. He's got to deal with Nevisian Sky at the end, and it's not going to be easy. Nevisian Sky, he has met the horse Vintage Matters, and he's better than Vintage Matters.
He is.
Well, he's been a different horse. Talking about Voodoo Song, since he took blinkers off, his 2 wins have come with that equipment change. So it'll be interesting if this horse right here, Gabby, does press him, and it looks like the JY will, he still might be able to sit and relax and be okay.
He could, but I still think that Jose Lezcano has done a brilliant job in creating that separation from the rest of the field and making everybody chase. So I think that's the tactic they want to do today.
You talked about the Saratoga Showdown earlier. Let's take a look at the standings and who stands where with still 2 races to go on the card. We got a couple tied up top, but a long way to go. Again, on the line, 50,000 Naira bets wagering points, equivalent of $50 in your account, and an entry into a prize package valued at over $2,000 for next year's Belmont Stakes. So got to be in it to win it. You can sign up and get started each and every day at SaratogaShowdown.com or at Naira.com. Here is Zigarch, the 9 horse. He's at 9-1 on the board, and he comes in off a victory July 16th at Belmont at a mile on the turf, and now in the barn of Mike Maker.
Now, the good thing about his last race was that it was off a layoff, and we always see Mike Maker with his turf horses be extremely dangerous every time he sends them out. But last time out, we saw kind of a long shot pace setter set the pace, and from there, the long shot pace setter faded, and it created an excellent setup for Zigarch, who kind of went a little bit wide and closed from off of it. The issue with him here today, and you have to like that he's coming out of a win, I think this is a much tougher field than what he keyed up against last time.
You guys agree with that downstairs?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. It's
Yeah.
a much tougher field, and I agree with Gabby's assessment of the race. The one thing I'll say, though, is it was first time for Mike Maker, and Mike Maker is as good off claims and taking over the training of turf horses as any trainer in the country. So there could be more room to improve, and Mike's numbers off the wins and turf routes, even at Naira, are very strong.
Yeah, that's a good point because they're. You know, the horse made up a ton of ground off the layoff, like Gabby said. And you know, listen, the horse that actually finished fourth might have been the best. There was a tiny bit of an inquiry that day. Zigarch, as you could see, came in a tiny bit. And you could see that horse steadied behind him. He needs the pace to run into. The 8 in here at 2-1, the horse to beat, I mean, obviously, you know, it should have won last time out. I mean, you could argue this horse is looking for a 3-win win streak.
Yeah, you know, you look at this race, and outside of the 6 and 8, you and I agree, Paul, that Cliffs of Dover's the one you want.
The reason why I love the 7's a run-off horse, and I think the 6 is a run-off horse. It might help the 7 just be like, you know what, I'm just going to chase the 6 around the racetrack.
The 7's been temperamental his whole
Yes.
career. Looking at the odds boards, to me, a Reno, Yummy Bear, and the 9 horse Zigarch the same price. I don't think Reno has a prayer. He was able to wire a field when he walked in the front end here, and his form looks disintegrated to me. Yummy Bear has been lucky to beat weaker. To me, the 9, the same price of those horses, is a much better bet.
Than those 2?
Than the
Yes,
2.
yes.
I think of those 3 at the same prices, he is much more likely to win than them.
Well, Andy mentioned Reno, the 4 horse on the board at 8-1. Maggie told us this horse won here a couple of times. He comes in off a very sharp work as well. Maggie's standing by with his trainer now.
And here with Jimmy Bond, yes, Greg, Orino, second off the bench here, Jimmy. Was that last race, he is a 7-year-old, sometimes they just need a race to kind of get going. Was that the case?
I'll tell you, Johnny pulled up off that horse. It was screaming at his valet. So I do not know what happened, okay? I really don't. I thought I had him really tight, okay? He loves Saratoga. He's a puzzle. I'll be honest with you, okay? He's trained as good as he's ever trained. You know, Eric won on the horse a couple of times when he was a little younger, of course. I'm just trying to wake him up again, as they say. But I think he's alive. I mean, there's a lot of speed in here. You know, we're going to try to get to the fence, save a little ground, and hopefully make a run. You know, try to get the big train clear.
No, exactly. He is a big train. He's a big boy, that's for sure. Do you think, though, obviously there is speed in here. He has one on the front end, but do you think he is better coming from off of it?
Well, he's got no choice, I don't think, here. They're just so quick. But, you know, Johnny rode a great race on him coming from off of it at Belmont. So I think he's versatile. It's just kind of like, does he want to anymore or not? I mean, you know, they get to an age. You know, he shows me in the morning. Hopefully he shows me in the afternoon.
Well, he's a little bit live on the board, so best of luck here, Jimmy.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
Intriguing runner right there, Orino for the James Bond barn. And Eric Cancel, who's, as he mentioned, has won on him a couple of times in the past, back aboard today to try and wake him up a little bit.
For sure. Well, as Jimmy was saying, he gets enough pace in front of him, and maybe he's a horse that's just turned the corner since coming up here to Saratoga.
Well, Navision Sky, the 8 for Chad Brown, remains your favorite on the board. Now clicks down another notch here, down to 9-5. Jose Ortiz had a monster afternoon the other day, a 5-win day. He'll be aboard here, just missed on this horse last time out. And never hurts to know the horse and the horse's tendencies a little bit and have a race over the track here at Saratoga.
It never hurts to have Jose Ortiz in the saddle, that's for sure. But Navision Sky, I was dubious with his race going into the 1 1/16 last time out. And as you said, maybe he should have won that last race, but he at least showed his credibility that he is a legitimate contender in here. But I just couldn't overlook the trouble that Cliffs of Dover got into last time out.
Now, that's what a lot of people are looking at there, and that's why you saw a couple of check marks on the 7 with Cliffs of Dover. I guess the big concern, though, is he's a horse who gets rank, who's hard to handle, and there's no signs telling you that he's gotten over that, and he's not going to be that horse again today.
He needs to break, and he needs to be in the clear. That's the only way that Luis Saez is going to get him to settle. And Luis has had experience on him before and has figured him out. Sometimes it's circumstantial, and what the case was last time out is that he didn't break well.
And I don't think that with Voodoo Song and with the JY, there's no chance he's going to be in the clear in this race, right?
No, but I mean, he needs to be in the clear, not be stopped behind horses from the break.
All right, they're loading up here. Navision Sky now lower even still, 8-5. He basically won last start. He lost a photo finish by the smallest of margins, but he didn't get the win. Can he do it today? We'll find out. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus with the call.
They're all in line. They're off. Good beginning for Leave 'em at the gate. The JY on the inside, flashing speed. Voodoo Song's going up with them. And then Cliffs of Dover, Yummy Bear on the inside. A break back to Navision Sky, who's 7 lengths off the lead early on. Cliffs of Dover, very rank again. And then a break of another 2 lengths back to Orino, followed by Mr. Harlan, and Zig Arch is last as they make their way into that turn. And there goes Voodoo Song to grab the lead from the JY, and they're rolling up front here. 23.32 is the quarter. Voodoo Song onto the backstretch. In front by 2. The JY running in second by another 4. After that comes Yummy Bear in third. Leave him at the gate is 4th. Cliffs of Dover 5th on the inside. Settled down somewhat. Now about 6 lengths ahead of Navision Sky. Then comes Orino, Mr. Harlan. And at the back it's Zig Arch. 46.61 for the half mile. Voodoo Song on top as the field races for the far turn. 2.5 length lead. The JY on the outside. Second, Yummy Bear is third. Then Cliffs of Dover inside of Leave 'em at the gate. Navision Sky comfortably placed, going along well here. 5.5 lengths off the lead, saving ground on the turn. Then comes Orino and Mr. Harlan, and Zig Arch at the back, 3/4 up in 110.55. Coming to the top of the stretch here, Voodoo Song turning for home in front by 3. On the inside, Yummy Bear is second. Navision Sky on the outside is next, but Voodoo Song's getting away. Voodoo Song has opened up to lead by 4. Navisian Sky into second. And then toward the inside comes in third position Yummy Bear, followed by Mr. Harlan, but it is Voodoo Song to win it by a length and a half. Navisian Sky was second, then came Yummy Bear and Mr. Harlan. The final time, very sharp here, 1 minute 39.99.
Voodoo Song make it 3 wins at the Saratoga meeting. This is just a fun horse to watch do his thing. He had to work pretty hard to get the lead early on, too.
Yeah, you know what? This is the 3rd time I've seen this meet. I mean, today was a little bit non-aggressive, but still, I mean, this horse just ran one sub 140, 110, 133, did it pretty easy.
This is a horse who, you know, I was a little bit suspect going into his last race, was a little bit suspect going into this race. It seemed like there was more speed signed on, but he proved that he could go pretty quick clip and keep on going, Andy.
Well, he went fast two races back when he did it, and he went faster today, but the turf is much firmer today, too. He ran very well. There's not much to say. He just played come and catch me, went fast. Navisian Sky got a very good ride by Jose Ortiz. He just couldn't run him down.
How many more days are left in this meet, Greg?
Yeah, can Linda Rice squeeze one more out of Voodoo Song during the meet here? Make it a four wins?
Why not, right? Go for the 4-bagger. I don't think, has a horse ever won 4 races at Saratoga?
I think you got to give it a shot. This horse is neat to watch do his thing and do it on the front end each and every step of the way in his 3 victories here at this meeting. Pretty incredible. Wins here at 8-5. Navisian Sky coming with his run, but coming up short against Voodoo Song. 6-8, 5-3. Son of English Channel gets it done one more time. 3-peat here at the meet. We're going to take a break in the action. Multiple Eclipse Award winning photographer. Her photos have been on the likes of Sports Illustrated and Vanity Fair. Barbara Livingston's story is next.
How do I see New York bred performance? Like this.
Disco.
Here's New York sire Disco Partner setting a new world record in the Jaipur.
Holy mackerel.
And they perform like multiple Grade 1 winner Mind Your Biscuits.
And he's pouring it on late.
Shown here, winning the Belmont Sprint Championship. And New York breds perform in the sales ring, where this filly sold for $750,000. Look for your registered New York performer at upcoming auctions.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NyraBets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NyraBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live, there's a look at the new Naira logo, unveiled earlier this summer. Voodoo Song, not once, not twice, about 3 times winning here at this Saratoga meeting. Won for the very first time the second day of the meet, wheeled back 4 days later, and now wins in this 9th race on the card, and has done it on the front end every step of the way. Jose Lizcano has been aboard for all 3 victories. They have all come with the equipment change of blinkers off for Linda Rice, and they have come with a shift to the grass as well. Let's send it downstairs to Maggie for more.
Get on the other side.
I feel pretty privileged to be in between the 2 Shortses, that's for sure. Cheryl Shorts and Barry Shorts here. And Barry, Voodoo Song, he absolutely loves it here at Saratoga, I would say. And obviously you have a trainer who knows how to get a horse to win 3 times in Saratoga.
She did it before, and she did it with City Zip, and they were all stakes.
She's pretty incredible, and taking...
She might be the only person who that's ever done that twice, I would think.
She's the only one that's coming to my mind, that's for sure. But Voodoo Song, a horse, I want to touch on the fact that you had horses with Mike Hushin, now retired, and was that bittersweet?
Well, I wouldn't call it bittersweet. It was, it's 25 years together. We're still very good friends. I mean, I was very happy for him. Yeah. It was difficult because, when he got sick, we basically had to figure out, where to send the horses until he recovered. And Linda had some of them, Todd had some of them, and a couple of other people. And now between the 2 of them, they have all of my horses. But Mike, we had 25 great years together, so no regrets.
It was wonderful to watch both of you, and obviously Voodoo Song, Cheryl, homebred, Stonewall Farm. How
exciting! Very, very exciting. The homebreds are always the best. It's just their love from the minute they're born, and they're taken such good care of by. We have a great farm manager and great staff, and it's a team effort on so many fronts. So we're very excited, and this is just beyond. Linda is amazing, I have to say. And so
I'm having a good meet. I've had a lot of horses second and thirds, but if it wasn't for him, I'd have a duck.
That is true. And Cheryl, I must say, as always, looking fabulous. I'm so envious of your fashion sense.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to talk to the Shorts. Congratulations here with Voodoo Song, guys.
Nice way to end the day.
Greg.
Well, if you can have one horse for the meet, Voodoo Song, a pretty good one to have, winning for the 3rd time here after winning in the span of just 4 days in that opening week.
I'd say, and the way that Linda Rice has campaigned this horse in the 3 starts in her barn, you'd think that he'd go to the winner's circle each and every time, just wheeling right back into the winner's circle. So congratulations to them. And he's a super horse.
Can we go back to Maggie real quick? Did she ask if they're going to run a 4th time?
Oh, we need to ask that.
Can we still get Maggie? We got to ask that question. We'll see if she can ask it and get back to us on that. I want to see that horse wheel back one more time. Of course, Travers coming up on Saturday. We've talked about the Triple Crown contenders. We've talked about the 1-2 finishers coming out of the Haskell. Then there's, of course, Bob Baffert and West Coast returning to the East Coast after winning the Easy Goer back on June 10th. He went back to the West to win the Los Al Derby. He arrived on Tuesday along with Songbird.
He dominated in that field as well in the Easy Goer, and he's a horse, we were talking about it. He is one of the main contenders. Bob Baffert ships east for good reason, and I think he's one you have to use as well.
No question, especially with how easily he handled that field in the Easy Goer that included, by the way, Outplay, who Todd Pletcher was considering for a while for the Travers, instead going to the Pennsylvania Derby. There's a look at Flatter. Of course, he's a son of Flatter, who's standing at Claiborne Farm and carrying the flag for AP Indy, among the nation's leading sires by Grade 1 stakes horses in 2016. Among the other horses he's produced, Flat Out, 2-time winner of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, won the Cigar Mile, Upstart, and of course a horse who shocked everybody here last summer in the test, Paola Queen.
His progeny has been good everywhere they land.
Well, Barbara Livingston has made it her life's ambition to chronicle the sport of kings, and it wasn't long before she tasted early success. Soon after graduating college in Syracuse, in fact, her work would grace the cover of Blood Horse and she's been a huge part of the game ever since.
Oh my God, this is so cute. Oh, ho, ho. Oh my God, I love this. Beautiful. Got it. Well, like a lot of young girls, I loved horses from the minute I was born, maybe beforehand. My first mobile over my bed, they were of horses. And we came to Saratoga when I was 10, and I took pictures at the track. And by the time I was 14, I photographed a horse named Ruffian here, who was a beautiful black filly, magnificent, set a new record, 2-year-old, so exciting. And at that point, I wrote in my diary, I'm going to be a horse racing photographer. So that was 1974. You guys are the best! And I've just never varied from that. I've loved horses the whole time, and I've loved capturing them on film, and now whatever. No biting. For me personally, I grew up living for horse racing, for its history, like Man o' War, Romer, you know, these horses of the past, they all walked here. You think about Man o' War might have been exactly where I'm standing. 100 years from now, people are going to say American Pharaoh stood right here. Think about that. We almost in a way don't matter. We're here to record what happens for this moment in this incredible place that will be eternal. And how fantastic is that, to be a teeniest part of that and just see what happens in the future. I love it. It's surprising, you're absolutely right, that you sort of think things, people always say you have the greatest job, you're so lucky. And I think they just think the horses go past the finish wire at the race, which is true. But first, you have maybe 7 to 10 cameras aimed at that finish, including 3 or 4 assistants on big days or more. And you want every single thing to go right. You want the horse in the correct spot. You want the jockey to do the right thing. But basically, my day today, for instance, started at 5:30 at the track when it was foggy but not sunny yet. I left the track from around 11 a.m. when they'd stopped the morning workouts, got back here by 12:45 or so for the afternoon. And now we'll work through till 6 or 7 at night and edit all night long till I go to sleep and hope I didn't miss anything really important that randomly happened in some corner somewhere. Wait. You are so weird.
That's what they call it, right?
Absolutely, I love it. That was adorable, wasn't it? I live for this, I breathe for this, I go to sleep and can't wait to do it the next day. When I almost get goosebumps from happiness. We just tried to capture the eclipse. Didn't work, but it was so fun trying, and I can't wait to try the next thing tomorrow. If it's rain, sun, whatever happens, I can't wait. It's fantastic.
Barbara Livingston's passion for what she does really comes across in that piece. No doubt you've seen her photographs capturing some of the great images of this sport over the past, well, many, many years that she's been doing it here in this business. We have the Nightcap still to come, 20 minutes to post in the Nightcap ahead. The Get Out race, who is going to get it done? We'll discuss, and the post parade when we come back.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Back on Saratoga Live, fans enjoying this Wednesday afternoon action. That was a strong dab right there.
He put a lot into that one.
Cam Newton's got nothing on him. Well done. This was earlier today, the annual Stewart's Ice Cream Eating Contest, and I challenged the guys downstairs. Andy, Paul, if you are listening, you two, Gabby, me, we're doing it head-to-head ice cream eating challenge of our own. We each get a pint. We do it tonight, and the winner, I don't know what the winner gets.
I don't want to look like that little girl right there. Did you see that face?
I'm busy tonight.
Come on.
Otherwise, I wouldn't do it anyway.
It's called lactose intolerant.
If it's mint chocolate chip, I'm down.
I love mint chocolate chip.
Me too.
So you had to
I'm
eat a
stealing
pint
Gabby's.
of ice cream, guys, quicker than anybody else. And you know what you win if you eat the pint quickest? You earn more ice cream.
So the more ice cream you eat, the more you get is what you're saying.
I love that prize. They must have really good ice cream.
They must.
Andy, you can do it. I know you can.
As Gabby is aware, I am a glutton.
He's a grade 1 grazer. I will say that.
This is going to happen at some point during the meet. We're going to get him in on that. You can play along from home as we bet all these racers. We show you all these races and play with Naira Bets. Get signed up, started. Maybe make some money, pad that account. If you bet 200, you will get 200 in your account using the promo code PIG5. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets all across the country and play Saratoga and over 200 racetracks available nationwide. All right, our finale coming up here, 6.5 furlongs. New York breds in a $25,000 maiden claiming race. And right now it's I Miss My Father, who we all knew would open up at a shorter price than what we're seeing on that morning line here, trained by Gary Gullo, and a performance that a lot better than it looked in that first out debut.
For sure. I think there's 2 horses to beat in here. One of them is the 2 I Miss My Father, who got a brutal trip coming out of the gate last time out, pretty much broke sideways and was pinballed around from there. We'll take a look at his last replay, and you can see he is the number 9 horse. The rider even having to sit down in the saddle, and like I said, pinballed out of the gate, but from there, guys, I thought he had pretty good energy in the second half of the race.
Well, he ran exceptionally well to get back into the race just that facilely. But the most important thing about it is this was a day where the rail was stronger than any other day at the meet, and that's saying something. And I Miss My Father was 3 wide really the whole way. By the way, Nut Nut was 4 wide in there, and he was badly Conroy. So you have the break that you talked about. You have losing position. You rush up into it. You're wide chasing. And after that, Paco Lopez basically gave up in the late stages and eased him up. This is a horse, if he breaks cleanly, is going to be very tough to beat, but he may have to deal with the 4 money laundering on the front end.
That's the problem here. The other horse dropping in class here is the 4. Now you keep going on in this race, and you're going to see that the 4, Fullback Foy, I Miss My Father, and Supercolors, all the same horses. Now they're coming down the lane. I Miss My Father. Now that break's starting to take the toll. Now Supercolors, who got the best of trips of all the horses in this race, finishes the best in here, and I thought was very average in here. But you know what? A horse that you could play, because if the 2 and the 4 do go at it in here, he ran okay.
Yeah, I don't like this horse at all. I thought he saved ground most of the way. I think Nut Nut is kind of the other one I want. But listen, I wouldn't bet this horse at 8-5 in a million years. Do I think he's the horse to beat? Yeah, but not at 8-5.
No,
the
you can't.
4's a much better bet at 5-1. Now the odds are going to normalize a little bit by post time.
No, you make a great point, because the point is the horse broke dead last time. What makes you think it's not going to happen again at 8-5, guys?
Yeah, I agree with them downstairs. That is way too short a price to take on I Miss My Father, but certainly one of the main contenders. With more on this field, let's go down to the paddock with Maggie.
Well, Greg, first I have to point out the kid that you saw dabbing as we came back from break. That was future trainer in the making. That's Nicholas Brown, son of Bruce Brown. And I asked him for an interview, but he turned me down. He said, no, I got to give the jockeys instructions. And he said, for both of them, Nut Nut and Elbow Room, it's take back and make one run. But I'll look at a second-time starter here in race number 10. That's number 2, I Miss My Father. And I do think, you know, he had a bit of that trouble trip, as everybody was just talking about. And furthermore, he's stronger. He's more clued in to what is about to happen, and he has a more advantageous post, I think, more towards the inside today. So maybe he won't get caught out kind of like he did in that first race, and I think he'll break a little bit sharper because he's certainly on his toes and giving me every sign that he will. Moving on to number 4, Money Laundering, who will go turf to dirt here. And honestly, physically, he looks more like a dirt horse. So taking the drop in class here, first time running for the 25 tag, he's sharp, he's healthy, and I think he'll be effective going the 6.5 here on the main track. Moving on to a third time start, that's number 8, Super Colors, and he's a big, heavy son of Super Safe, and I just feel as though with his races, he's gotten more fit, and he's certainly a lot more tucked up than what he was in that last race here at Saratoga on July 31st. So I like what I see from Super Colors. I think he can build upon that effort last time out here. So, Greg, we have jocks out in the paddock. Hopefully Nicholas is giving those directions right now.
We hope so. We'll see. Bruce Brown's horse, of course, the 7, Nut. He's got some good efforts at this condition. We'll see if 13th time is the charm for the 7 horse for trainer Bruce Brown. We know his son got all the dance moves down, so he's ready to go to the winner's circle.
He absolutely is. He's ready for his picture.
We're going to take a break of the action. We'll be back. The finale still to come. We will have the post parade. When we come back, we'll see if Jose Ortiz potentially can pad his lead. His older brother Irad will be on the 8-horse Super Colors. There's Jose's mount, leading rider at the meet, at a 5-win day earlier this week. He'll be on the favorite.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
The sun is setting here at Saratoga. Welcome back to Saratoga Live, as we're going to be heading to post time shortly for the 10th and final race here. But wanted to take a look at the Saratoga Showdowns here, checking in once again on the Saratoga Showdowns, which is a free online contest where you can compete for real prizes. We see, well, it's a two-way tie atop there. We've got Stephen 1, 2, 3, and third. 2-2 Boomer and fourth, and trickling down from there. But this is a tough one to cap it off in.
This is a hunch play on my part, but I really feel like 22 Boomer is going to make a big run here in this last race.
Who?
22 Boomer, currently in 4th.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got the name to do so, doesn't he?
We'll see what happens. And again, every single day you can get involved with that without risking any of your own money. Go to Saratoga Showdown or .com or Naira.com to get involved. Post parade coming up 9 to 5 on I Miss My Father in here. Meets leading rider Jose Ortiz aboard. Guys talked about that debut effort where broke slow, rushed up, ran well, but that is a short price.
The problem is sometimes people overbet treble trips, but we'll take a look at the post parade here, and leading us out is Little Monster Boy, trained by Anthony Cordarolo and ridden by Abel Liscano.
He's a long shot, first-time starter. For a trainer that does a decent job, but a 4-year-old firster at a big price, unlikely.
All right, we're taking a look at the 2 I Miss My Father for Pristine Racing, trained by Gary Gullo, making his 2nd career start.
Bad break last time, rushed up into a contentious pace. Back at this level, 9-5, a little short, but if he breaks, the one to catch.
Number 3 at 11-1, fullback Foy for trainer Nick Zito and Mosa Rosa Racing.
Had a good trip, saving ground, a good rail last time out. He could get a small piece of this.
That's the 4 on your screens at 5-1, trained by Bruce Levine. Kendrick Carmouche back in the saddle.
Never really loved blinkers going on a speed horse, but he could be the speed of the speed and get brave in here.
5 at 33-1 for John Morrissey and Del Halante Stock Farm, Circumnavigate.
Yeah, he just doesn't appear to be fast enough. He's actually probably a little better on the turf. Never really got back to a good debut.
Guy LaMotta and Gabriel Goodwin send out the number 6, Private John.
Horse coming in from Finger Lakes. Good race, 2 back on the maiden special weight level. First time gelding today.
0 for 12 will try to get the job done today. The number 7, Nut, trained by Bruce Brown.
He was wide last time against a very strong rail, which gives him an excuse, and his prior races are good enough to win this. He's just had a lot of chances.
They're the Live Oak Plantation colors, trained by Mike Trombetta, the number 8 Super Colors.
Yeah, put the blinkers on in his 2nd career start and ran on okay. If there's pace up front, look for him late.
And we get to the 9, Man of Chrome for Richard Mativier, Sammy Camacho Jr. aboard this 47-1 shot.
A 2nd-time starter, a long shot for a reason.
And the 10 is excused from the post parade right now, but 47-1, holding odds for Randy Parsaud for Dublin Express.
The last time this horse was 47-1, he was 2nd. That was 3 starts ago. I should be 97-1.
And that's the 11, 28-1, Our American Star for Dudnath Shiv Magal. Blinkers go on today.
He's actually an overlay at 28-1. He's run races good enough to give him a chance to get a small piece, a super use.
And the 12, You Rocket for Mike Lauer by Utopia out of Arabian Nights Mare.
This horse has been working bullets in the morning. They put blinkers on him and back-to-back bullet works over the main track, so now they're going to try it today.
And perhaps a live long shot, guys. The 14 at 34-1, the other one of the Bruce Brown trainees.
Yeah, Ricardo Santana in the irons. This horse, not a bad effort. First start. Couple races, though, he is not finished. Always not a great sign.
And we circle back to the number 4, Money Laundering for Bruce Levine. The blinkers go on for the first time today.
Paul was talking about this horse. I think we're going to see speed from the 12, but Paul, I want to ask you. I totally agree with you. 3 things going in this corner. Speed against better. He drops in class. Blinkers go on. And we know Kendrick Carmouche, one of the most aggressive riders on the grounds here, so I think he's going to try and shoot to the front.
Well, I would think so. That's their only way. The worry you have with horses like this, Greg, when you go back and you look at this horse's replays, he runs and has some stick and has no stay. You look at all of his races in the last 1/8 of a mile or so, he stops. I mean, dead stops. Now, I don't know if there's a breathing problem or not, or what's going on there, but they dropped him to 40. Now the blinkers go on, and he stopped last time. He has to clear this field, Andy, and get brave to win this race.
Yeah, I'm going to give a different interpretation. I think they've made a mistake running on the turf 3 times, Paul. This horse's debut was fine.
He was way better on the dirt. Yeah,
that was a rocket pace. That was on Wood Memorial Day when speed was deadly. And so everybody was sending. And I know we're showing the 12, but I do want to say this about Money Laundering. He was burned up badly in his pace duel that day against horses that are an hour better than these horses.
Well, Built to Suit would be 1-9 here. Yeah,
right, 1 to 1,000,000
yeah.
here. He's in a tough race on Friday.
Yeah.
This is a horse that went to the wrong surface too quickly, is now back on the right surface for the 2nd time.
Here's the other thing. We just showed the stats on the 12 upstairs. Does that horse show speed first time on the dirt with those bullet works?
He could show speed. He was showing speed in the turf. And I'll tell you something about the 12. He's bred for the dirt, not the turf.
Yeah, and he's got a rocket quick. We're a couple of them coming into this race. So it looks like the 4 and the 12 are kind of trying to duke it out here on the front end. So we look at the 3 here, Gabby. Fullback 4 has had a lot of opportunities.
He has, and a lot of the time you see an O for whatever maiden, and you try to kind of read between the lines. All right, have they sprinted on the dirt as many times? And he really has been exposed in this level of competition several times, so he's a hard one to back.
I know we're all over the board here, but I want to get a point about You Rocket. This horse is obviously a clocker tip. How the heck is this horse 7-1 off this horse's running?
Because they're seeing the bullet drills. They're seeing the bullet drills.
It's not. This is a story horse.
No, I'm with you.
I got to think there's a clocker tip on the 12, and I think he has to be used.
I'm with you because they're 68-1, 45-1. I don't see the 12 at all. To get back to the 3, as you can see right now, the rider is off the 3. What's happening here, Gab? Did you see anything?
It just looks like the rider on the 3, Luis Saez, just hopped off. Maybe a quick saddle adjustment there. As we can see, the assistant starters just kind of readjusting the saddle.
To get back to that horse, Greg, okay, the 3, right? Isn't he the perfect piece horse? Can he? I don't think he wins this race, but we're talking about all the speed in here. Seems like his last 3 races a lot better here. And his last race at Saratoga, he made up some ground in a 14-horse field. I think that's the horse that rounds out the try or the super here at 11-1.
Yeah, definitely looks like he can get a piece of it. Third off a short layoff as well. He's on the board at 11-1, so certainly would be a good one to have in your exotics. Let's go to Maggie for more.
I was getting a little nervous when I saw him back behind the gate there because I thought he was moving very well, but it is just a saddle adjustment. Fullback Foy really caught my eye as far as warm-ups were concerned, really moving nicely. Yes, I mean, obviously his talent level, it is what it is. We've seen what we've seen from Fullback Foy, but maybe he's just doing well heading into this one in his second start here at the Spa. Next, we'll check in with the one that is that Buzz horse you guys were kind of alluding to, and he continues to drop to 6-1. That is number 12, You Rocket. Now, You Rocket was really bad to saddle, but that's not totally out of the realm for him. You know, he's going to be a jazzed up horse. He's going to try to rock it out of there. That's for sure. I don't know. To be honest, switching to the dirt, we'll see. He obviously works fine over it, but a lot of times horses have trouble carrying that speed when they get to the dirt. Once you get a turf horse off the bridle on the main track, well, they tend to go out like a light. So we'll see if he can get over this main track well. And number 3, Fullback Foy, Luis Saez is back aboard here, all good with the saddle. Greg?
Maggie, thanks. And guys, back to your point with that huge long shot, the 12 getting on the dirt for the first time. You Rocket, we expect to see speed from him. He's the 4th choice, by the way, in the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 payouts.
Well, good luck to the people that have him, because he's going to have to win this race from start to finish, from way outside. And by the way, he's beaten 4 or 5 horses home in 3 races. You can see all the weight on the 2. And Miss Gabby going with the 4. I think we're going to be battling for the front end.
2 and 4, no doubt they're going to go at it. I'm sorry, the 4 and the 12 are going to go at it in here, but we'll see what I Miss My Father does too with a sharp break. Could be 3 of them up there.
How about a crazy long shot to throw in, maybe at a price? This is a horse that I kind of liked, the 14 Elbow Room. Now look, he could finish dead last, but he is dropping in class in terms of sprinting on the main track. He faced grade 3 winner last time he sprinted on the main track, so I don't know. He's probably impossible, but I thought he was intriguing at a big price.
I saw you use that as one of your horses earlier today when you were doing the handicapping with Andy, and
you said she's officially lost it.
No, but now we saw Bruce Brown's son Dab. It's the other Bruce Brown horse. He has Nut in here, the 7. Why not? 38-1 long shot.
Maybe.
This is the kind of look. No one in this race really has that much form. No one's shown a lot of ability. It's kind of race where almost anything can happen, right?
Well, let's hope so.
Let's send it upstairs for the nightcap. It is I Miss My Father, the 2. Going to get a clean break here for his second start. He's the horse to beat. Larry Colmus, the voice of New York racing in the Triple Crown, with the call.
Circumnavigate moving into the starting gate with You Rocket, waiting for Private John and Elbow Room as they take up position in the outside stall. Still 2-1 on I Miss My Father, and they're all in line. They're off. You Rocket comes out strongly. Money Laundering, I Miss My Father on the inside. Away running in 3rd up the backstretch. Then Circumnavigate. Dublin Express, Super Colors is right there. And racing in between horses is Nut. Break of another length and a half back to Our American Star. And they're clear of Fullback Foy. Little Monster Boy is next on the inside. And then it's Elbow Room, followed by Man of Chrome. And last of them all is Private John. 21.51 was a sharp opening quarter mile moving for the far turn. It is Money Laundering in front, getting away from you, Rocket, who's a length back in second. 4 lengths to I Miss My Father in third. Nut Nut follows in fourth. Dublin Express fifth, losing ground on the turn. 3 lengths ahead of Super Colors. Our American Star is next on the outside, and then it's Fullback Foy and Circumnavigate. 44.35 was the half. They're into the stretch, and it's Money Laundering. Off the turn, 3 lengths in front. You Rocket Leg Weary. Nut Nut on the outside, and I Miss My Father trying to gain ground, a furlong to run. Kendra Carmouche shaking up Money Laundering, still a 4-length lead. I Miss My Father is up into second. Nut Nut is third. Money Laundering gonna take them all the way here. Money Laundering by 4 in the end. Over I Miss My Father, Nut Nut, and Super Colors was fourth in 1 minute 17.38.
Well, you knew what you were going to get with Money Laundering. Kendrick Carmouche is aggressive, got to the front, gets the win here at 4-1.
Aggressive rider, showed speed in his debut. Blinkers on today. He shot out of the gate like a rocket and sent the field on a merry chase, really. We did see the 12U Rocket showing a little bit of early speed, but him just turning that away and kept on going. The 2, I Miss My Father, a little bit better of a break today, just, guys, wasn't good enough.
Even for 6.5 furlong races, this is an extremely fast pace.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they get the big run up, but they were flying. Actually, the 12 might have won the race if the 4 wasn't in there. He was so fast. This was a tremendous performance. As we talked about beforehand, they have been running this horse on the wrong surface.
No, you're right. His first race was so much better. He stuck around a little bit longer, it gets better. And the other part about this is you looked at his races and he really did give up. He's one of those horses that's probably very smart and knows, hey, all these other horses in front of me, I'm not catching up. Well, today he was in front and he was just not looking back.
Question remains now, did someone decide to dip in for $25,000 and claim off of Bruce Levine?
Well, we shall see shortly enough here. But as Andy kind of said before the race went off, that maybe the connections misjudged that first race as he got in a heated battle up front. So we'll see. But he was definitely much the best today after those fast fractions.
Money Laundering drop in class. Blinkers on. Got to the lead and gets the money here in the Nightcap. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Saratoga Live right after this.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 1:08 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Visit the new Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and where the hottest new slots are paying out millions. Sign up for Rush Rewards and play up to $500 in slots on us. Plus, we'll double any casino offer and match your tier. Rivers Casino and Resort.
Claiborne Farm is proud to offer the regally bred Orb. The son of Malibu Moon compiled a 5-race winning streak that included the Fountain of Youth and Florida Derby. In the Kentucky Derby, he defeated rivals Will Take Charge, Oxbow, Golden Sense, and Palace Malice. Now the millionaire racehorse is garnering big checks for breeders. In the auction ring, Orb is the #1 sire of his crop, with first yearlings selling up to $450,000. Now is the time to book your mare to Orb at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, and in the Nightcap, it was money laundering here, dropping into the lowest level he had ever run at yet. Bruce Levine, McRich Stables, and Kendrick Carmouche, the aggressive ride for the win. He's standing by with Maggie.
And Kendrick Carmouche has been aboard money laundering in every one of his starts. And Kendrick, were you kind of influential in telling Bruce blinkers, maybe switch back to the dirt, class relief?
Well, we always thought he was better than what he was giving us. You know, he always ran halfway decent races against New York breds, and you know, he always breaks sharp and just want to take himself back. And the last time I rode him, I just told Bruce, I mean, he giving us a 3/8 of a mile run, and he's chunking it whenever he wants, you know. So with that being said, I told Mr. Bruce to put blinkers on him, and you know, he agreed with me, and it worked out for the best of the team.
Did you know you were going that fast? I know 6.5, there's kind of a run up and the fractions look pretty fast, but it looks as though he was well in hand.
Maggie, you know, whenever I'm going around there, I hardly think about the time. Long as my horse in the right stride and he's in my hands, I can guide him home from there.
And you said the track's pretty fast, the rail might be the place to be.
When I looked at the track early in the day, before I went on the turf course, I said the rail is fast. I know where I'm going for the last race.
Had it all planned out, and you got it done in the Nightcap. Congrats, Kendrick.
Thank you very much.
All right, Greg.
I love Kendrick Carmouche. Mike Venezia, award winner, and it doesn't matter who he's riding. He gives it his all every single time out. He gets some money here in the last. Here's our Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. 50-cent return, over $1,900 that included Voodoo Song. It wound up going off, I want to say wound up going off as your favorite in there. Infinite Wisdom, not a tough one to have. A couple of prices in there, but nothing all that difficult in terms of monster numbers.
No.
Nice return.
For sure. I think Navesian Sky went off as the favorite in that race, but a nice return on that.
Jockey standings, Jose Ortiz atop the list. He had that 5-win day just a couple days ago, and he is pulled clear here over his older brother, Irad Ortiz Jr., with a 8-win pad right now, but still a long way to go.
He's starting to create a little separation, though, and that boosts the confidence.
And so is Todd Pletcher over Chad Brown. Chad Brown, of course, 25 wins. He's the reigning leader, top trainer here at the meet. Last year won it for the very first time, trying to defend that title, but they both have a lot of ammunition still left. Saratoga Showdown results. Oh, no.
You were wrong.
Mike, 3737, gets the win. So he gets 50,000 Naira Bets wagering points and an entry into that prize package for next year's Belmont Stakes.
Congratulations, Mike, 3737. Job well done.
Yeah, again, you can enter each and every day at SaratogaShowdown.com or at Naira.com. Paul, let's start with you, I guess. We've got a big weekend coming up. We know it's Travers weekend. We're going to have Songbird on the undercard on our show. What are you most looking forward to coming up?
I'm looking forward to a lot of different things this weekend, but obviously looking forward to the Travers. Who's going to separate themselves? Is the horses that have struggled from the Haskell to the Travers in the past, are they going to run well? Are the California horses, West Coast, who at one time Bob Baffert thought it was the second-best 3-year-old behind Mastery and in between American Anthem, and then IRAP for Doug O'Neill, who's starting in the Blossom? Or is it going to be Good Samaritan? We've been seeing horses over this racetrack, a la Elate, who have run well, come back. Good Samaritan, to me, is the horse I'm really looking forward to. Maybe he's the one that's the best 3-year-old that we didn't even know was the best 3-year-old on dirt till he ran in the Jim Dandy.
Could wind up being that. We'll learn more, obviously, on Saturday. Gabby, you want to give us your pick yet?
I haven't really kind of delved into this race just yet, but I've been a big fan of Taproot and just the decision that Todd Pletcher made from the get-go after he won the Belmont to train him into the Travers. So I do like him. Good Samaritan, I think, is the goods. And Gervin, well, everybody's been saying he's just been incredible lately. So I'm going to probably decide between those three.
Look at this lineup on Travers Day, one of the most intriguing races of the entire year. We also have the Sword Dancer, Songbird, and Forever Unbridled going head-to-head. The second and third place finishers from last year's Breeders' Cup Distaff going at it, and that personal ensign were $700,000. The Forgo, we have Dreyfong, Mind Your Biscuits. It is loaded all day long. You certainly want to get out here on Travers Day and be part of the action. If you cannot, stick with us. We're on early start time on Saturday afternoon. So be sure to join us. We're on 2:30, right? 2 to 4:30. Thank you. It was First Responders Appreciation Day, honoring firefighters, police, EMTs, and paramedics. And in the John's Call, it was Infinite Wisdom. Irad Ortiz taking them every step of the way on the front end. And Brian Lynch, good for him, getting his first winner of the meet. And into the winner's circle at the mile and 5/8 John's Call. We will see you on Thursday. Until then, take care.